You think you are addicted to lust, but I say to you, the truth is, lust is not your addiction, it is your escape. It is the doorway you run through when you cannot bear to be alone with yourself. You are not chasing the body of another, you are running away from your own being. You are chasing the body of another because you have not yet touched your own soul. You have not yet tasted your own silence. You confuse lust with life because you have never tasted what lies beyond the mind. In this communion, I will not speak against lust. I will speak against unconsciousness. The world has spoken against lust for centuries, and look at the result, a perverted, repressed, angry humanity. I will not join that crowd. I tell you, you are not a sinner. You are simply asleep, and lust is the dream you call love. When you understand this, desire becomes divine. The very energy that chained you becomes your liberation. We are going to go deep into this. We are not going to fight. In this space, you will not learn to fight your desire. You will learn to see it. You will understand why lust feels so powerful, why it controls your mind, and how awareness, simple, pure awareness, can turn that same energy into freedom. If you are listening to this, and if something in you stirs, a memory of truth, a longing for real freedom, then I invite you to walk this path with me fully. Do not just be a spectator, engage with this energy. By liking this video, by subscribing to this channel, you are creating a circle of energy. You are saying yes to the transformation. It helps this message reach other sleeping souls who are suffering unnecessarily. You will see that the problem has never been sex. The problem has been unconsciousness. When you awaken to that, lust becomes a doorway to the divine. For most of your life, you have been taught to suppress, to feel ashamed of your natural energy. You try to control it, and the more you fight it, the stronger it becomes. You scroll through images, you chase bodies, you hide in the dark corners of your desires, yet the emptiness returns. I understand this struggle, I know the torment of it. It is not your fault. You were born into a world that fears passion and misunderstands pleasure. They have handed you a map that leads nowhere. But there is another way to see lust, not as sin, not as sickness, but as a seed of awakening. When seen without judgment, the same fire that burned you can become your light. And so in this time together, I will take you deep into the roots of human desire. We will explore what lust truly is, where it comes from, and why it grips your mind so tightly. I will show you how religion, culture, and fear have twisted a simple life force into a source of misery. But more importantly, I will reveal how the energy of lust, when met with awareness, can become love, and how love, when deepened through meditation, becomes prayer. We will not escape the body, we will understand it, we will not condemn desire, we will watch it with such clarity that its illusion dissolves. And through that seeing, you will discover that you were never addicted to lust. You were simply searching for yourself. Here is something most people completely miss. You think lust is the problem. You think it is the devil. You think it is lust that pulls you down, that keeps you trapped, that makes you unspiritual. You beat yourself up every time you feel it. But lust is not the problem at all. The real problem is the blindness with which you move through it. Lust is only a mirror. It reflects your unconsciousness. When you look into it without awareness, it becomes poison. When you look into it with awareness, it becomes perfume. The same energy that burns in lust can become light. But right now, you are standing in the dark, afraid even to strike a match. Since the very beginning, man has been taught to fear the body. Every religion, every priest, every so-called teacher has whispered into your ear that your body is dangerous, that your senses are sinful, that your desires are dirty, and you believe them. You believe them because you were too young to question, too innocent to know that they were poisoning your roots. You were told to cover yourself, to hide, to suppress. You were told that something natural in you was wrong. And that is how guilt entered your soul, not through sin, but through ignorance. The world taught you to fear what gives you life. When a child touches his body with wonder, the parents shout, "Don't," and that single word becomes the seed of division. The child learns that something so natural, so innocent, must be shameful. He grows up split into one part that desires and another part that condemns the desire. And when two parts of you begin to fight, conflict is born, civil war begins inside you. Out of that conflict, lust becomes distorted. What could have been a dance becomes a disease. You are addicted to this split, not to lust itself, but to the war between suppression and indulgence. You're addicted to the tension it creates. Let me tell you a story. A young monk once came to me trembling. He was shaking like a leaf in the wind. He said, "Master, I am haunted by the image of a woman I met on the road. I tried to forget her. I fasted, I prayed, I chanted, but she comes every night into my dreams." I looked into his eyes and said, "You didn't escape the woman. You carried her into your unconscious. You ran from her physically, but you could not run from your own desire." Suppression never destroys desire. Listen to this carefully. Suppression never destroys desire. It only pushes it deeper into the dark. And what goes into the dark grows roots. It becomes twisted. Lust becomes obsession only when you fight it. It becomes meditation when you watch it. That is the whole secret. When you resist lust, you feed it. You give it power through your fear. The more you condemn it, the stronger it becomes, because condemnation is also a kind of attention. Whatever you focus on, consciously or unconsciously, grows. If you focus on fighting it, you are still focusing on it. But when you sit silently and look into the moment of lust, not to control it, not to judge it, but just to see, something miraculous happens. The very fire that was burning you begins to give you warmth. The same flame that blinded you begins to light your way. Lust is like fire. Touch it unconsciously and it burns. Use it with understanding and it cooks your food. Fire itself is not the enemy. Your ignorance is. Religion has taught you to throw away the fire. They say, extinguish the fire. But if you extinguish the fire, you will remain cold, dead, frozen. I am teaching you to master it. To live without lust is impossible because lust is life energy. To live without awareness is the only danger. The fire is innocent. The user decides its purpose. If you are feeling the warmth of this truth, if you are beginning to see that you don't need to destroy yourself to find the divine, then support this work. Consider joining our community as a member. The join button is not just a feature, it is a commitment to your own growth. Or if you feel a sudden gratitude for this clarity, use the super thanks. It is a way to balance the energy. When you give, you become empty, and only in emptiness can new truth enter. Also, for those who want to carry these maps with them, who want to read and reread these words in silence, look for our ebooks. They are tools for your journey. So remember this, you are not addicted to lust. You are addicted to unconsciousness. And when you awaken even for a single moment in the middle of desire, you will see that lust is not against spirituality. It is the raw material from which spirituality is born. It is the clay from which the statue of love can be sculpted. But first, you must stop running from it, stop judging it, sit with it, watch it, because the moment you see lust with clear eyes, without shame, without repression, the chains fall away. Then lust is no longer lust. It becomes energy, pure and alive, waiting to become your light. And from this misunderstanding, from this ancient fear of your own energy, the second illusion was born. The idea that lust can be conquered by control. But control is just another form of fear, and fear can never bring freedom. What I am about to tell you may seem strange at first, because you have been conditioned for so long to believe the opposite. But listen quietly, without the mind rushing to agree or to reject. Just listen. The idea that lust can be controlled is one of humanity's greatest illusions. Lust cannot be controlled because control belongs to the same unconsciousness that created the problem. The one who tries to control lust is the same one who was lost in it. The controller and the controlled are two sides of the same coin. When you try to dominate your desire, you are simply giving it a new mask, but the face beneath remains the same. The energy that was flowing downward in indulgence now flows inward in repression. It becomes twisted, cold, cruel. The fire is still burning, only now it burns in secret, poisoning the roots of your being. You may deceive others with your restraint. You may wear the robes of a saint. You may even deceive yourself for a while. But deep inside, the same storm continues to rage, hidden behind a fragile wall of control. I've seen men who call themselves celibate, monks who have renounced women, possessions, and pleasure, yet their eyes are full of hunger. They walk with the body of renunciation, but the mind of indulgence. They have not transcended lust. They have merely shifted it to the realm of imagination. And imagination is more dangerous than reality because it has no outlet. Reality has limits, imagination has none. When you suppress your natural energy, it does not disappear. It waits, it coils, it turns against you. That is why repression always ends in perversion, always. Because whatever is pushed down will find its way up again. But when it comes up after being repressed, it comes up distorted, disfigured, desperate to express itself. You cannot escape energy. You can only transform it. You cannot kill desire because desire is life itself. You can only purify it through awareness. Think of a river trying to dam itself. It can build walls. It can create resistance. But eventually it must break through because movement is its nature. The river that flows unconsciously floods and destroys. The river that flows with awareness nourishes and gives life. Control is like building a dam. It is fear-based, temporary, exhausting. You have to stay awake 24 hours a day to guard the dam. One moment of sleep and the water breaks through. Awareness is like guiding the river, gentle, intelligent, in harmony with nature. But we have all been taught the language of control, not of understanding. We were told, fight your desire, and so we fight. We were told, conquer your lust, and so we become soldiers against our own body. Yet how can you be victorious in a war against yourself? Every victory is also a defeat because whichever side wins, you lose. So I say to you, drop this struggle completely. Stop fighting what is natural. Stop making enemies out of your instincts. The man who represses his body can never know the beauty of meditation because meditation is a celebration of wholeness. You cannot rise above what you have not yet embraced. You must begin by accepting every part of your being, every movement of energy, even lust. Look at it with the eyes of a scientist, not with the eyes of a moralist. A scientist does not judge the poison, he studies it. He understands its chemical structure, and in understanding it, he can turn it into medicine, watch its rhythm, its heat, its pull. Don't label it as good or bad, just see it, and in that seeing, something begins to shift. The very attention you bring to lust starts to purify it. The moment you are present, the fire of lust becomes the light of awareness. You must understand the beauty hidden in this paradox. Lust is one of the greatest opportunities for awakening because it is raw, immediate, and powerful. It shakes you. It wakes you up from your lethargy. It exposes you. It reveals the depth of your unconscious. When lust arises, it brings with it your entire conditioning, guilt, fear, desire, judgment. It is a mirror that shows you exactly where you stand. But instead of looking into that mirror, you close your eyes, you run, you hide, you pray to escape what life is trying to teach you. You miss the lesson. When lust comes, it is not your enemy knocking at the door. It is a messenger of existence inviting you to wake up, to know yourself through the intensity of your own energy. In moments of desire, do not rush to act. Do not rush to suppress. Just remain still like a mountain. Feel the energy rise within you. The heat, the vibration, the pull. Stay with it. Watch how it moves, how it grows, how it demands expression. Feel its rhythm without being carried away. You will see something extraordinary. The energy itself is innocent. It is neither sexual nor spiritual. It is simply alive. The labeling happens later in the mind. The mind says this is sex. The mind says this is bad. In its essence, energy has no direction, no judgment. When you are aware, that same energy begins to move upward, transforming into creativity, into compassion, into silence. You will feel it. The same pulse that once drew you into another body now draws you into your own being. That is the alchemy of awareness. Religion has failed because it taught humanity to fight energy instead of understanding it. I do not teach suppression. I teach transformation. I do not teach renunciation. I teach celebration. You can use your energy to dig graves or to plant gardens. The choice is yours, and the difference between the two is only awareness. To the blind man, the sun burns his eyes. To the man who can see, the same sun gives warmth and life. Lust is that sun. When seen through the eyes of consciousness, it becomes the source of your inner flowering. When resisted through fear, it becomes the fire of your hell. And remember, this transformation does not come through effort. It comes through understanding. Awareness is not effort. Effort creates tension. Awareness is relaxation. It is observation. You don't have to fight the darkness. You only have to light a candle. One small flame of attention is enough to dissolve centuries of conditioning. Once you see that lust is not evil, that it is simply unconscious energy, the guilt begins to vanish. And with the guilt, the compulsion disappears. You become free not by controlling your desires, but by being conscious of them. That is real freedom. Not the freedom from, but the freedom within. And when this understanding dawns in you, you will no longer divide life into sacred and profane, spiritual and sexual, good and bad. You will see that all of it belongs to the same whole. The divine does not exist apart from your desires. It exists through them, waiting for you to wake up and see. When you know this, you do not need to control lust. Lust itself becomes control because it no longer rules you. You and the energy move together. not in conflict, but in harmony. Then, for the first time, you taste the beauty of being whole. Here is something even more mysterious, something the mind may resist, yet your being will recognize as true. Lust itself is not against spirituality. It is a seed of it, the same force that pulls a man toward a woman, that drives one body to merge with another, that makes you tremble in desire, is the very force that can take you to enlightenment. It is only a question of direction, of awareness, of transformation. Lust is the energy of life wanting to know itself. It is the longing of existence to become one again, to dissolve the illusion of separation. But because you have been taught to feel guilty about it, you never allowed this energy to rise beyond the body. You cut it off, you condemn it, and by doing so, you remain imprisoned in the lowest form of it. When lust is denied, it festers. When it is indulged blindly, it drains you. When it is understood, it frees you. I want you to see this very clearly. Lust is not the enemy. Unconsciousness is. When you move in lust without awareness, it becomes greed. It becomes possessiveness. When you watch lust with awareness, it becomes love. And when that love becomes total, it turns into prayer. The energy is the same. It only changes its form. You have been taught to fight energy, and that's why humanity suffers. If you can understand lust without judging it, you will see that it is simply life flowing through you. Feel the vitality it brings, the fire, the movement. Do not call it good or bad. The moment you stop naming it, you will find yourself entering into a silence deeper than the body. That silence is the door through which lust becomes light. Think of a river again. It begins high in the mountains, wild and full of force. At the source, it knows nothing of the ocean, but it is moving toward it all the same. Along the way, it may create floods, it may destroy villages, but that is not its purpose. It is simply moving unconsciously. When the river finally meets the ocean, it becomes one with it. The same water that destroyed becomes peace, vastness, eternity. Lust is that river. Awareness is the ocean. When your energy meets awareness, destruction turns into devotion. The chaos of desire becomes the calm of meditation. You are no longer pulled outward. You are drawn inward by the same power that once drove you to others. You must have noticed that after every indulgence there is a silence. It is small, fleeting, but undeniable. In that silence, for a moment, you are free from the mind. That is the glimpse of meditation. But because it comes through lust, you miss it. You are so focused on the act that you never see the opening it creates. That small gap, that moment of nothingness after the storm, is a doorway to the divine. If you can stay in that space, if you can remain awake as the energy settles, you will find that the body disappears, the mind disappears, and something infinite begins to whisper inside you. That whisper is your real nature, your eternal self. It has been waiting for you to hear it, but the noise of your desire was too loud. There was once a painter who came to me many years ago. He was a man of great talent, but he was tormented. He said, "Master, whenever I paint, I feel the same rush that I do in sex. My hands tremble, my breath deepens, my whole being is alive. It is a fire that takes me over completely." But then his face fell and he whispered, "But people tell me that art is different from lust. The priests tell me that one is pure and the other is base, that one is of the spirit and the other is of the animal. I feel guilty for feeling this same passion in my art. I laughed. I laughed because humanity has been divided for so long by these foolish distinctions. I told him, they are both the same energy. There is no difference in the fuel, only in the engine. The difference is that in painting you are conscious. In lust, you are usually not. In painting, you are creating. In lust, you are usually just relieving attention. But the fire is the same. I told him, if you can bring that same awareness, that same creative alertness to sex, it too will become art, the art of being. A few months later, he came back and he was luminous. He said, for the first time in my life, I felt no shame in my desire. It became prayer. And that is exactly what happens when lust is transformed. It becomes creativity, compassion, intelligence, love. It becomes sacred. You must understand that to go beyond the body, you must first go through it. There is no other way. Those who try to skip the body, who try to jump directly into spirituality, remain shallow. Their spirituality is borrowed, dry, full of words, but having no experience. You cannot build a temple without a foundation, and the body is your foundation. It is through this body that you have been given the key to awareness. The body is the temple. Desire is the flame upon its altar. When you bow down to it in reverence, not in indulgence or fear, that flame becomes your meditation. But if you treat the body as an enemy, if you scourge it, if you starve it, if you call it a prison, you will never know the divine that lives within it. Every human being contains divine potential in their instincts. What you call lust is simply the divine knocking at your door in disguise. It says, wake up, look at me, don't misuse me, don't suppress me, understand me. But you have been taught to close the door, to double lock it, to pretend you don't hear the knocking. So the divine stands outside, waiting endlessly for you to let it in. This energy you are so afraid of is God seeking you. When you open that door through awareness, you will realize that nothing was ever profane. It was your vision that was clouded. Meditation is that opening of vision, the inner cleansing through which instinct becomes insight. When the seed of desire is buried in silence, it flowers as compassion. That flowering is love. Not the love of dependency, not the love of need, I cannot live without you, but the love of overflowing energy. If you are beginning to see the sacredness of this energy, if you feel the truth of this hitting your heart, then I invite you to deepen your connection with this channel. Click the join button. Become a part of this field of energy. It is a small gesture, but it signifies a readiness to go deeper. Or, if this specific insight has unlocked something for you, you can express it through super thanks. It is a way of saying, I have received and I give back. This flow is essential. In that transformed love, you no longer chase anyone. You attract through your being. You do not seek completion through another because you have already found it within yourself. This is what I mean when I say lust becomes love. The same seed, when nurtured by awareness, grows into a tree that gives shade and fruit to the whole world. Your energy becomes a gift. The same desire that once pulled you outward now radiates outward as light. Let me tell you, the greatest transformation happens not by doing, but by understanding. You do not need to fight your instincts. You need to become intimate with them. Most of you are strangers to your own biology, strangers to your own chemistry. You treat your body like a machine you drive, not a home you inhabit. Watch every movement within you with curiosity, not condemnation. When you feel desire, Don't hide from it. Don't immediately distract yourself. Sit with it like a friend. Let it speak. Let it dance. Let it express itself in your awareness. Slowly you will see that desire loses its madness, its urgency. It becomes transparent, luminous, almost playful. The body remains, the energy remains, but the bondage is gone. You can look at a beautiful person and feel love without lust, attraction without attachment, energy without entanglement. That is freedom. When you understand energy, lust becomes your teacher. It shows you the mechanics of the mind, the depth of your conditioning, and the mystery of transformation. To condemn lust is to condemn your own potential. To understand it is to enter the heart of existence itself, because life is nothing but energy seeking to return to awareness. And when that happens, when lust is seen through the light of consciousness, you realize that it was never really lust at all. It was life trying to remember itself. Lust has been condemned so deeply that even to mention it feels like sin to you. You have been told to control it, to suppress it, to bury it beneath guilt and shame, as if by hiding it you could purify yourself. But understand this, whatever you repress becomes more powerful. The energy that could have become a flower of love turns into poison when imprisoned. The seed of passion can either grow into fragrance or rot in darkness. The choice is yours. Suppression doesn't destroy energy, it only distorts it. The man who fights lust becomes more lustful than the one who understands it, because repression turns awareness into blindness. When you fight against your desire, you split yourself in two. One part of you becomes the judge, the other the prisoner. One part says, I am holy. The other whispers, I am sinful. And this inner conflict eats you alive. It keeps you restless, guilty, unfulfilled. Have you noticed? The more you try to resist lust, the more it follows you. It haunts you in your dreams, in your thoughts, in your eyes. Because what you fight, you feed. The more you reject it, the deeper it roots itself in your unconscious. You become a battlefield, half saint, half sinner, never whole, never at peace. Lust is not the enemy, ignorance is. When you understand lust, when you watch it without judgment, it begins to transform. The fire that burned you begins to warm you. The same energy that created your chains becomes the key to your freedom. Remember, it is the same fire that can burn your house or cook your food. The difference lies not in the fire, but in your understanding of how to use it. The body is sacred. The mind has made it dirty. Every cell of your being is divine. It is a temple through which existence celebrates itself. When you feel desire, it's not something foreign invading you. It is life moving through you. It's the creative pulse of existence calling you to awaken. But because you've been taught to condemn it, you never listen to what it's saying. You mistake its intensity for evil, when in truth, it is the same force that gives birth to stars, flowers, and gods. The monks, the moralists, the priests, they have all misunderstood this energy. They have tried to kill it instead of enlightening it. They created a humanity that is divided, repressed, fearful of its own nature. That's why the world is so full of perversion, because the energy that could have become celebration was forced into darkness. When you lock something in the basement, it doesn't die. It becomes a ghost. A disciple once came to me trembling with guilt. He said, "Master, I am haunted by lust. No matter how much I meditate, it doesn't go away." I told him, it doesn't need to go away. It needs to be seen. Sit with it. Watch it as you would watch the sunset. Don't fight. Don't analyze. Don't suppress. Just watch. Days later, he came back transformed. His eyes were calm, his presence radiant. "It's strange," he said. "The more I watched it, the less power it had." And I told him, "That's the miracle of awareness. What you observe dissolves. What you resist persists. The key is not control, it is understanding. When you look at lust with awareness, you begin to see its layers. At the surface, it's physical attraction, a pull of the senses. But if you go deeper, you'll find something more subtle, the hunger for connection, for intimacy, for union. And if you go deeper still, beyond the need to possess or be possessed, you find a sacred longing, the longing to merge with existence itself. Lust, at its core, is the seed of prayer. The same energy that draws you toward another body is the energy that can draw you toward the divine. But you must move with awareness. If you stay on the surface, lust remains lust, blind, compulsive, repetitive. You become addicted because you are stuck in the first layer. You think the body of another will satisfy you, but it only teases you with momentary pleasure. Soon the craving returns stronger than before, because what you seek is not in the body, it's in the being. You are trying to fill a spiritual hunger with physical food. That's why it never lasts. You say you are addicted to lust, but in truth, you are addicted to forgetfulness. You use lust as an escape from the emptiness inside. For a moment, desire gives you the illusion of fullness, and you mistake that illusion for life. But when the moment passes, the emptiness returns, and you run again, searching for another face, another thrill, another distraction. This is the wheel of addiction, the cycle of seeking and sorrow. If you can just stop for a moment and look within, you will see that the emptiness you are running from is not a curse. It's a doorway. The same emptiness that frightens you is the womb of awakening. Lust is your fear of silence. Love is your discovery of it. When you understand lust, when you sit in the fire without running, you will see that it was never about another person. It was existence calling you home through the language of the body. That's why I say don't suppress and don't indulge. Suppression creates perversion. Indulgence creates slavery. The middle path is awareness. When you feel desire arise, don't label it as sin or virtue. Just be aware of it. Feel its warmth, its movement, its rhythm. Watch how it rises, peaks, and fades. In that watching, a miracle happens. You are no longer the prisoner of lust. You are the witness. The witness is beyond addiction, beyond attachment, beyond desire. The moment you become the witness, lust becomes love, love becomes meditation, and meditation becomes ecstasy. Because at its root, all desire is divine energy seeking its own completion. When you understand this, you stop running after bodies, after faces, after fantasies, and you start moving inward. You begin to see that the true beloved has always been within you. Now I want you to look deeper into this energy of desire. What happens when you watch it? Not as an enemy, but as a teacher. What does it reveal? What is it pointing toward? In that silent inquiry, lust will start showing you its hidden dimensions, and you will begin to taste what I call the transformation of energy. When you begin to watch lust without running from it, without judging it, without even wishing for it to disappear, something subtle starts to change within you. The heat of it softens, its violence quiets, it loses that compulsive edge that used to drive you mad. It begins to glow instead of burn. That very same energy that once pulled you outward starts turning inward, like a river that has finally found its course to the ocean. The current is the same, the direction has changed. This is the secret of transformation. Energy never dies, it only changes direction. Lust does not have to be destroyed, it has to be understood. And when understanding enters, lust becomes love. Love is lust transformed through the light of awareness. When the animal in you is accepted, when it is looked at without shame, without guilt, without repression, it begins to flower. The raw fire of lust becomes the warmth of love. In lust, you use the other as an object. In love, you revere them as a presence. Lust consumes, love shares. Lust wants to own, love allows. Lust is hunger, love is overflowing. Lust says, I need you. Love says, I celebrate you. You see, it's not that lust and love are enemies. They are two ends of the same energy. The beginning is lust. The culmination is love. If you cut lust out of your life, you cut the root of love as well. That is what priests and moralists have done for centuries. They've uprooted the tree and then complained that no flowers bloom. They have condemned the root energy and then pretended to search for its fragrance. But the fragrance can only arise when the seed is accepted, planted, and allowed to grow in the soil of awareness. Lust is existence knocking at your door, asking you to wake up to your aliveness. Don't mistake the knock for the guest. The guest is love. The visitor is divine energy itself, but it needs an open door. When you repress lust, you lock that door. When you indulge in it blindly, you keep running in and out, never staying long enough to meet the guest. Only the one who watches, who remains still, who neither denies nor clings, will one day find that the energy has ripened into love. If you are finding yourself in these words, if you feel a thirst to understand this alchemy of love and lust even more deeply, I have spoken on this in great detail in my books. They are not just books, they are devices to wake you up. Check the e-books available in the description. They are there to guide you when the mind gets confused again. Love is not against the body, it's the body in harmony. When love arises, you no longer see the other as a body. The body becomes transparent, like a window through which you glimpse something infinite. The touch of the body becomes the touch of being. A simple embrace becomes prayer. A kiss becomes meditation. The two disappear, and in that disappearance, unity happens. That unity is not sexual, it is existential. It is the same unity that rivers feel when they meet the ocean, the same unity that a flower feels when it opens to the sun. It is fulfillment beyond need. When love flowers fully, when even the faintest shadow of lust disappears, the fragrance of prayer is born. Lust was movement outward, love is balance, prayer is surrender. In prayer, the energy that once rushed toward others, toward things, toward achievements turns entirely toward the divine. It no longer seeks another body. It seeks the source of all bodies. It no longer craves union through touch. It melts into the infinite through trust. People ask me, oh, what is prayer? And I say, it is the highest form of love, love without address. When you can love without object, without direction, without desire, that love becomes prayer. It is not a love that you do, it is love that you are. It radiates silently. You don't say it, you don't act it, you don't even think it. It's just there, like light around a flame. Lust was darkness, love was twilight, prayer is sunrise. And remember, prayer is not words, prayer is not repetition of mantras, prayer is not asking for something from God, prayer is gratitude. It's saying thank you without speaking, simply by being. The one who has transformed lust into love and love into prayer becomes a living thank you. His every breath says it, his silence sings it. But this transformation can only happen if you are patient. You cannot hurry energy. You cannot force a seed to become a flower overnight. If you try to force, you destroy it. You can only provide the right soil, the right warmth, the right awareness, and wait. Lust needs to be watched without condemnation. It needs to be held in compassion. It needs your friendliness. The moment you become friendly with your own desire, you begin to transcend it. So I tell you, don't be afraid of your lust and don't be in a hurry to escape it. Sit silently with it. Feel its pulse in your body, its warmth, its rhythm. Watch it like a lover watches the beloved, with care, with curiosity, with reverence. Then slowly you'll begin to see that it's not your enemy. It was your teacher all along. It came to awaken you. When lust turns into love and love into prayer, you are free. Then there is no conflict, no division, no shame. Then the same energy that once created turmoil now becomes your path to peace. And the same desire that once bound you now becomes your wings. When this flowering begins, it does not limit itself to the narrow boundaries of sex or of what you used to call desire. It starts spilling over into everything. The same energy that once moved through your body as lust begins to move through your hands when you touch a tree, through your eyes when you look at the sky, through your breath when you simply sit and feel yourself alive. You begin to sense that the whole of existence is made of that same pulse, that same rhythm that once expressed itself as desire. You are no longer looking for union through another person. You begin to feel that you are already in union with everything that surrounds you. The tree that sways in the wind that touches your face, the bird that calls at a distance, they are no longer separate happenings. They are parts of a single breathing, a single heartbeat. In this stage, even your smallest actions begin to change their flavor. When you eat with awareness, with reverence, almost as if you are taking communion with existence itself. When you speak, words come more slowly, more softly, as though you are tasting each one before releasing it into the air. When you walk, the earth beneath your feet is no longer just ground. It is your companion holding you, supporting you. The very texture of your life begins to feel different. You are not doing things anymore. Things are happening through you. The line between you and the world fades and a new kind of ease enters your being. It is not the lazy ease of someone who doesn't care. It is the quiet ease of one who has stopped struggling. That is what I mean when I say that meditation begins. Meditation is not something you perform. It is what naturally arises when the mind no longer needs to interfere. You do not practice meditation any more than a flower practices blooming. It blooms because it cannot do otherwise. It blooms because the season is right, the soil is ready, and the sun is warm. The energy that once rushed outward as lust has now turned inward, and that inward movement is meditation. You sit quietly, and it is there. You walk, and it walks with you. You lie down, and it hums in your breathing. It becomes your constant companion, silent, steady, watchful. Every act becomes sacred because now you are present in it. People think meditation means escaping from life, running away to the Himalayas, to sit in a cave. But it is exactly the opposite. Meditation means entering life so totally that there is no one left outside it. You become one with your actions. When you cook, you are the cooking. There is no cook separate from the action. There is only the chopping of vegetables, the smell of spices, the heat of the fire. You are dissolved in it. When you paint, you are the color and the brush and the movement of the hand. When you love, you are both the lover and the beloved. The duality disappears. The division between subject and object melts, and in that melting there is an immense release of joy. It is not the pleasure of the senses that you already know. Pleasure is always dependent on something outside you. You eat good food, you feel pleasure. You touch a beautiful body, you feel pleasure. But take the food away, take the body away, and the pleasure turns into pain, into craving. This is different. It is a joy that has no cause. It is a joy that does not depend on anything happening. It simply overflows. You wake up in the morning and you feel full. Not because you have achieved something, not because you have conquered the world, but simply because you are. Simply because you are breathing. As this deepens, life takes on a different geometry. What you once called spiritual and what you once called physical are no longer two separate domains. You see that they were never separate. They were only divided in the mind. The body and the soul are two notes of the same song. And when they are in tune, there is music. That music is what I call bliss. It is the natural state of being. When all inner conflict has dissolved, it does not shout, it whispers. It does not depend on anyone listening. It exists for its own beauty, and slowly, slowly, that bliss becomes your fragrance. Others begin to feel it around you. They may not understand it. In fact, they may not even have words for it. They might simply say, there is something different about you. They will sense a quietness, a transparency, a presence. It will not be something you do, it will be something you are. Even your silence will begin to speak. When you sit with people, they will feel calmer. When you smile, they will feel lighter. Your very being becomes a meditation, and in that presence, lust cannot survive as lust. It is consumed in the fire of awareness and reborn as love, compassion, and understanding. This is what the journey is all about. Not suppression, not indulgence, but transformation. You begin where you are. You look, you watch, and you allow understanding to work on its own. You cannot force a seed to become a flower, but you can create the conditions in which the flowering happens. You can keep the soil soft, give it sunlight, give it water, and wait. In the same way, awareness is the sunlight, patience is the water, and your body and mind are the soil. When all these come together, transformation is inevitable. If you are feeling the soil of your being softening as you listen to this, if you feel the seeds of understanding beginning to crack open, then I invite you to water them. Engage with this message. Share this video with someone you know is struggling, someone who is fighting themselves. Your sharing is a form of compassion. And if you wish to support the gardener who tends this channel, consider using the super thanks button. It is a gesture of energy exchange, a way to keep this flow of wisdom moving. Lust will come again. It is part of the rhythm of life. Do not be surprised when it knocks on your door tomorrow. But now it will no longer possess you. It will pass through you like wind through an open window. You will watch it arise, you will watch it fade, and you will remain untouched. That is freedom. And when you are free, everything that once looked ordinary becomes extraordinary. The world does not change, your eyes change. You start seeing the divine in everything. even in the pulse of your own blood, even in the breath moving in and out. From that moment on, nothing is against you, nothing is impure, nothing is sinful. Life is whole, it is all divine play. The same energy that once burned as lust now shines as awareness, and it lights your whole world from within. And when that light begins to shine from within you, life stops being a journey from one desire to another. It becomes a single seamless unfolding, like the opening of a flower in slow motion. You don't live in fragments anymore. There is no moment you want to run away from and no moment you want to cling to. Everything is welcome. The fire, the rain, the birth, the death, all of it is seen as the same dance of energy. You live in the rhythm of it, not as a separate drummer beating your own confused tempo, but as the very music itself. The more you allow yourself to dissolve into that rhythm, the more peaceful you become, because now there is no resistance left inside you. The world you once thought of as a battlefield starts to look like a garden again. You don't go on judging people as lustful, angry, jealous, spiritual, or enlightened. You see them all as expressions of the same energy at different stages of awakening. The man burning in lust is not a sinner to you anymore. He is simply a seed that has not yet known spring. He is suffering in his hard shell, trying to break free, but he does not know how. You do not condemn him. You understand his struggle because you have lived it. The saint meditating under a tree is not a hero to worship. He is a flower that has opened early. The same life force is moving through them both. Understanding this, compassion arises naturally. You begin to see yourself in everyone and everyone in yourself. You can love without choosing. You can forgive without effort because you have seen that there is nothing to forgive. Everyone is doing the best they can from their level of consciousness. When you live this way, even your relationships change. They cease to be bargains. I will love you if you love me. I will stay if you behave. That kind of love is just lust disguised. The mind is making business out of emotion. It is a marketplace love. You give so that you can get. And if you don't get, you become angry. You feel cheated. That is not love. That is commerce. Real love asks for nothing because it has already found everything within. It shares because it overflows. It doesn't demand, it gives. When two such people meet, their love is not a cage, it's a space. It is a vast sky where two birds fly together, but neither leaves a footprint. They give each other wings instead of chains. They don't hold hands to keep from falling. They hold hands to enjoy the flight. This love doesn't fear the ending of anything because it has seen that nothing really ends. It only changes form. As awareness deepens, your creativity too begins to take new shapes. Lust, when transformed, becomes not only love, but art, music, poetry, laughter. All the great artists of the world, knowingly or unknowingly, have touched this energy. They have tapped into the source. When you paint, write, sing, dance, and there is no ego in it, no ambition behind it, that is the same energy that once cried out as lust. You are no longer chasing someone or something. You are expressing the infinite through the finite. A brush stroke becomes prayer. A note of music becomes meditation. A moment of silence becomes communion. When you understand this, you stop dividing life into sacred and profane. You see that there is only life, and it is sacred through and through. You can be in the marketplace, surrounded by noise and money and hurry, and it can be as holy as any temple. If your heart is awake, you can sit alone in your room, and it can be as full of love as the embrace of a lover. The energy that once made you restless now makes you still. The same force that once demanded possession now teaches you surrender. You are still human. You will still eat, sleep, touch, laugh, but there will be a new grace in it, a new fragrance, because you will do everything from the center, not from the periphery. And slowly, even the idea of transformation disappears. This is the ultimate paradox. You start by trying to transform lust, but in the end, you see there was never anything to transform. Lust was never a mistake. It was the raw clay. Awareness is the sculptor. Out of that clay, awareness carves the statue of love, of prayer, of meditation. Nothing has been added, nothing has been removed, only the shape has changed. It was divine even in its roughness, and it is divine now in its beauty. The more deeply you understand this, the more reverence you feel for the whole of existence. Even what you once called your weaknesses begin to look like blessings in disguise, because without them, you would never have started searching for the light. Without the pain of lust, you would never have sought the peace of meditation. The thorn was necessary to make you look for the rose. This is why I tell you again and again, don't fight yourself. Don't divide yourself. There is no devil in you. There is no original sin in you. There is only misdirected divinity. Bring the light of awareness to it, and even your darkness will begin to shine. Then every part of you becomes a doorway, every breath a prayer, every touch a benediction. You don't have to renounce life to be spiritual. You only have to live it consciously. The real renunciation is the renunciation of unconsciousness. The real renunciation is giving up the sleepwalking. As this consciousness grows, you will feel a different kind of intimacy with existence. The trees, the mountains, the stars, they start feeling close, like extensions of your own body. You touch a stone and it vibrates in your being. You sit beside a river and it begins to flow through you. The separation between you and the world dissolves. You have returned to innocence, not the ignorance of childhood where you knew nothing, but the innocence of wisdom where you know that you are nothing and everything. It is a circle completed, a journey ended, not in exhaustion, but in fulfillment. And in that fulfillment, there is no longer any talk of lust or love or meditation. Those were only steps on the ladder. Now the ladder itself disappears. Only the sky remains, infinite, silent, alive. In that vastness, you rest. You don't seek, you don't pray, you don't desire, you simply are. And that simple being is the highest form of prayer, the ultimate flowering of love, the purest expression of energy. You have not conquered desire, you have gone beyond it. You have not escaped the world, you have embraced it so totally that there is no you left to escape. Only existence remains, celebrating itself through you as you. And when you live in that space, you begin to see that the whole drama of craving and suppression, of guilt and pleasure, was never really about sex at all. It was about this hunger to remember yourself. Lust was the most physical expression of it, the densest form of longing. But behind it was always the same movement, the urge of life to become conscious of itself. Once you can feel this, you stop calling any of it wrong. You can look back at every mistake, every fall, every moment of blind desire and see that even those were steps in your awakening. They were the rough winds that cleared your sky. To live in this understanding is to live without shame. Shame was useful for the mind. It kept you controllable. It kept you small. It kept you bowing down to priests and politicians. The moment you drop shame, you are no longer a slave. You can laugh at yourself again. You can laugh at how seriously you took everything, your sins, your virtues, your vows. Life becomes lighter, and that lightness is not irresponsibility, it's grace. You start living as if every moment were a gift, as if existence itself were whispering through everything you touch. This too is divine. Then lust cannot frighten you, love cannot bind you, meditation cannot become pride. You live simply, naturally. If desire arises, you see it, you breathe with it, and it passes. If silence arises, you rest in it, and it passes. You are not choosing, you are allowing. The real mastery is in not needing to control. Control is fear disguised as discipline. Awareness needs no control. It brings its own order, a spontaneous order born out of seeing. When you see clearly, wrong action becomes impossible. You don't suppress, you understand. You don't fight, you flow. In this way, lust becomes a teacher that never stops teaching. It reminds you again and again to stay awake. The body asks, "Are you here?" The mind tempts, "Have you forgotten again?" And each time you remember, the remembering goes deeper. Slowly, the remembering becomes permanent, like a flame that no wind can extinguish. That flame is what the old scriptures called awareness, consciousness, soul. Names don't matter. What matters is that you begin to live from it, not from habit. And when awareness becomes your center, you realize that love and meditation and even enlightenment were only words pointing towards something much simpler, living this moment completely. Sitting, walking, laughing, working, resting, whatever happens, it happens totally. There is no watcher standing outside judging. There is only the happening. This is the ultimate transformation of energy. The one who desired is gone, and what remains is pure, desireless aliveness. It moves through you, dances in you, but it belongs to no one. It is the same energy that stirs the trees and moves the tides. You are a wave in that ocean, and you finally know it. When you see this, there is a quiet humility. You bow to everything because everything is part of the same mystery. You don't worship idols or ideals anymore. You worship life itself. A child's laughter becomes a temple bell. The song of a bird becomes scripture. The touch of another human being becomes prayer. And even your own breathing feels like the chanting of existence. You have returned home, not to a place, not to a belief, but to your own being. You sit quietly, doing nothing, and the universe moves through you. This is the final flowering of the energy you once called lust. It has traveled a long road from hunger to harmony, from restlessness to rest, from desire to awareness. And it will keep traveling because life never stops unfolding. Each breath now feels like a beginning, each heartbeat like a revelation. You are not chasing enlightenment, you're living it, and in that living, every act, eating, touching, speaking, breathing, becomes sacred. That is the secret the mystics have always tried to share. Nothing needs to be denied, only seen. Once seen, everything becomes divine. And in that seeing, life becomes an unbroken meditation. You find yourself moving through the world as before, yet everything you touch carries a quiet shimmer, a presence. You no longer wait for special moments. Every moment is special because it is alive. You drink water and it tastes like a prayer. You walk through the marketplace and it feels like a temple. The noise, the crowd, the laughter, even the quarrels, they no longer disturb you. They are simply sounds in the great orchestra of existence. You can hear the harmony behind the apparent chaos. Nothing needs to be changed. Everything is already complete. When you look at people now, you don't see sinners and saints. You see fellow travelers. Some are walking in sunlight, some still stumble in darkness, but all are on the same road. You feel compassion, but it's not pity. It's a deep recognition that the same life burns in every form. You can see lust in another, and you don't judge because you know its seed and its transformation. You can see love, and you don't cling because you know that love too grows wings and flies into silence. Everything that you once separated into right and wrong, higher and lower, merges into a single stream of understanding. You begin to live without enemies, and this absence of enemies brings an immense peace. The energy that was once divided, half for fighting, half for hiding, is now whole. You feel it as vitality, as creativity, as joy. You wake up in the morning not with a plan to conquer the world, but with a simple wonder that the sun has risen again and you are here to witness it. You eat because the body is hungry, you rest because the body is tired, and even these small acts feel sacred. There is no more guilt about the body, no more need to purify it, because you have seen that the body was never impure. It was misunderstood. It is existence manifesting itself in a million intricate ways. It is the temple you are seeking, and awareness is the deity that has always lived inside it. If this vision of the temple of the body resonates with you, if you want to understand the architecture of this sacred space, I recommend you look at our ebooks. They delve deeper into the mysteries of the body and consciousness. And for those who are ready to make a commitment to this path of awareness, to this path of no fight, click the join button. Walk with us. As this awareness deepens, the idea of achievement loses all attraction. You don't want to become anything anymore. Not a saint, not a sage, not even enlightened. Becoming was the game of the mind. Now you live in being. You live as the open sky. Clouds of emotion come and go. Storms of desire come and go. But you remain vast, untouched, unhurt. The ego, that small center of I that was always hungry, has dissolved. In its place, there is emptiness. But that emptiness is not negative. It is full. It is full of life, full of love, full of peace. It is the kind of fullness that cannot be possessed or lost because it is not a thing. It is a quality of your being. Then you start laughing more. The laughter of understanding is different from the laughter of mockery. It's the laughter that comes when you finally see the cosmic joke, that you were running all your life to reach what was already here. You were traveling across the earth to find the treasure that was buried under your own floorboards. You were praying to a distant sky for what was already beating in your own heart. You laugh not at others, but at the absurd beauty of it all. You laugh at your own seriousness. Even the pain becomes part of that beauty because you see that every thorn has its purpose, every wound its wisdom. You stop asking why me and begin to whisper thank you. Gratitude becomes your prayer, and from that gratitude, love begins to move outward again, not as desire, not as dependency, but as fragrance. You don't choose where it goes, it simply spreads. A flower does not choose who smells its fragrance. It does not say, I will offer my scent to the good man, but I will close myself to the bad man. No, the flower simply blooms. Whoever passes by receives the gift. In the same way, your love simply spreads. Sometimes it touches a stranger on the street. Sometimes it heals an old wound in someone's heart. Sometimes it just fills the air with warmth. You are not trying to be good. Goodness happens. You are not trying to serve. Service flows naturally from abundance. The river does not decide to nourish the trees along its banks. It happens because the river is overflowing. It happens because the river has so much water it cannot hold it all. When you overflow, the same law applies. Compassion becomes effortless. It is no longer a moral choice imposed by society or religion. It is your nature. If you feel this overflow, if you feel this river of understanding moving through you right now, do not hold it back. Let it flow. You can express this flow by liking this video, by subscribing, by sharing it with others who are thirsty. And if you feel a deep gratitude for this source, you can use the super thanks button. It is a way of participating in the abundance, a way of saying, I have drunk from the river and I am grateful. Now lust, love, prayer, meditation, all these words begin to lose meaning. They were useful on the way, like milestones on a road. They told you how far you had come. But the traveler has reached the ocean. You cannot speak of the ocean in terms of drops. You cannot divide infinity into segments. You can only dissolve into it. And that is where all seeking ends, not with an answer. Life is not a question to be answered, it is a mystery to be lived. The seeking ends with a silence so vast that even the question disappears. The fire that once burned in you as desire still burns, but it is cool now, luminous. It no longer consumes you, it illumines you. It lights the path for others without even intending to. It becomes the quiet lamp of presence. This is what I mean when I say transformation. It's not the creation of something new, it's the revelation of what was always there. The caterpillar does not become the butterfly by addition. It does not go to a shop and buy wings. It becomes the butterfly by remembering its hidden wings. It dissolves its old form to let the new form emerge. You too have those wings. The wings of awareness, of love, of freedom. They were never lost. They were simply folded in sleep. And when you unfold them, when you finally allow them, you discover that you were never crawling through life. You were always meant to fly. So let this understanding sink deep. Don't try to practice it like a drill. Don't try to force it like a discipline. Just live. Just watch, just be. The energy will find its own course as water finds its way to the sea. Awareness will do the work. You only have to stay awake. And when you stay awake, when you live in that soft, luminous remembering, lust will have fulfilled its purpose. It will have taken you by the hand through darkness and confusion all the way to the light. You will bow to it, not because it ruled you, but because it led you home. And as you live from this space of quiet awareness, a new kind of innocence begins to appear. The innocence you had before you ever learned to call anything good or bad, pure or impure. It isn't childishness, it's clarity. A child is innocent because he is ignorant. A sage is innocent because he is wise. He has gone through the fire and come out clean. You look at the body and you see it as part of the earth. You look at desire and you see it as part of life's dance. Nothing in you needs to be condemned, so nothing in you hides anymore. That hiding used to make you tense. That hiding was the root of your anxiety. Now there is no inside or outside. Your house has glass walls. Everything is open. When you move openly. When you love openly. When you are silent, your silence has no walls. This openness is the flowering of awareness. It gives birth to a kind of intelligence that does not come from knowledge, but from direct perception. You begin to act not according to borrowed ideas, not according to the 10 Commandments or the Gita or the Bible, but according to what is. You respond to life moment by moment, and in that response there is truth. No rule book can replace it. That's why I tell people, don't imitate me. Don't imitate Jesus. Don't imitate Buddha. When you imitate, you are living in someone else's rhythm, and life has its own music waiting for you. The moment you imitate, you become a fake plastic flower. You may look like the real thing, but you have no fragrance, no life, no roots. When you find your own rhythm, even walking down a street becomes a meditation. You are no longer separate from the movement of the wind or the hum of the city. Everything is participation. Everything is communion. You may notice that even your senses change. The same eyes that once looked outward to possess, I want that car, I want that woman, I want that house, now look to appreciate. The greed is gone, the gratitude remains. The same ears that sought words of desire now enjoy silence. The same hands that reached out in need now rest gently, offering warmth. Nothing about you is repressed, but everything about you is refined. Your touch, your voice, your presence, they all carry stillness. It is not something you do. It is simply what remains when the turbulence has ended. And because this stillness isn't forced, it cannot be disturbed. You could be in the middle of a storm, and your core would remain untouched. That is the peace you were searching for through all your pleasures and renunciations. You looked for it in the bed of a lover. You looked for it in the bank account. You looked for it in the bottle of wine. But it was waiting for you in your own center. The peace that is not dependent on any condition is the only real peace. If your peace depends on silence outside, it is a false peace. The moment a dog barks, your peace is shattered. If your peace depends on everything going your way, it is a fragile peace. The moment life contradicts you, you are in turmoil. But the peace I am speaking of is an inner climate. It does not depend on the weather outside, and when you live in that peace, joy becomes as natural as breathing. You don't have to make yourself happy. You don't have to pursue happiness. Happiness flows through you like light through an open window. Even when pain comes, it no longer feels like an enemy. You can watch it with the same tenderness with which you once watched pleasure. You see that pain too is a movement of energy, a wave that rises and falls. You don't run from it, you don't fight it, and because of that, it doesn't linger. You've learned the secret of letting everything pass through you, not resisting, not clinging, just being available. This availability is your freedom. In this state, life is no longer divided into sacred and ordinary. Washing dishes, making love, meditating under the stars, it's all one continuum of being. There is no hierarchy left in your experience. You don't say prayer is high and eating is low. Everything that happens is happening within the same awareness. And because of that, everything has the same flavor of divinity. You don't seek special experiences anymore because every experience is special. You don't seek enlightenment because life itself has become enlightenment. You don't talk about God because the word is too small for what is constantly surrounding you, breathing you, moving through you. And this is how the journey completes itself. Not with a destination reached, but with the realization that there was never anywhere to go. The energy that once rose as lust has returned to its source as love, and that love has expanded into the vast silence from which it came. You have come full circle. The wheel turns, but you are no longer caught in its spokes. You can watch it spin, you can participate in its play, but you remain centered, unmoving, untouched. utterly at home in the movement of the whole. That is liberation. That is what it means to be alive in awareness. As this awareness settles even deeper, it begins to dissolve the last traces of separation that the mind used to draw between you and the rest of existence. You start to feel that there isn't a you here and a world out there. There is only one continuous happening. You breathe in and the trees are breathing with you. You breathe out and the sky receives your breath. The boundaries that language created, mine, yours, inner, outer, stop making sense. What was once I desire now becomes life-moving. The tension of being an individual, of being someone trying to reach something, disappears. You are not a wave in the ocean anymore. You are the ocean waving. From the outside, nothing looks dramatically different. You still eat, you still speak, you still walk among people, but the one who does those things is gone. There is doing but no doer. There is speaking but no speaker. This doesn't make you passive or indifferent. It makes you transparent. Life shines through you without distortion. Your gestures are simple, your words few, your actions graceful. When you meet someone's eyes, there is no motive behind your gaze. There is only seeing. When you listen, you are not waiting to reply. You are simply present. It's not an effort to be good. It's the natural state of someone who has stopped trying to be anything at all. And in this transparency, love changes its quality again. It's no longer directed toward any person or object. It simply radiates. It's not something you give or receive. It's the atmosphere of your being. Others might call it compassion, but to you, it feels as natural as breathing. You don't help people because you think you should. Help flows out of you like sunlight, unplanned, effortless. The energy that once moved through the body as desire has become light. It travels in all directions, touching everything. Sometimes it takes the form of words, sometimes a smile, sometimes silence. And every form it takes carries the same fragrance, peace. This peace is not dull. It is vibrant, alive, alert. You can sit silently for hours and yet feel as if you are dancing inside. You can walk through a crowded street and still feel the stillness of a mountain within you. Noise doesn't disturb you because you hear the silence beneath it. Movement doesn't tire you because you feel the stillness behind it. Wherever you are home. Wherever you look, you see yourself. This is the state the mystics called realization, awakening, nirvana. But these are only words. What it really is cannot be named. It's simply the recognition that existence was never apart from you, that it was your own energy playing all along, and because of that realization, fear ends. Fear was born from separation. Fear was born from the idea that you are a fragment, lost in a vast hostile universe. Now that illusion is gone. You no longer cling to life because you see that you are life. You no longer fear death because you see that you were never born. The body will dissolve, yes. The form will change, yes. But the energy that animates it cannot die. It will continue as wind, as flame, as water, as light. When this becomes your living understanding, you live lightly. Possessions, reputation, even the idea of success lose their grip on you. You can enjoy them, but you don't depend on them. They are like clouds passing through a clear sky, beautiful, changing, but unable to touch the sky itself. And now, because there is no longer anything to defend, you begin to play again. Life becomes a game, Leela, divine play, not the serious, anxious game you played before where winning meant everything and losing meant death, but a dance, spontaneous and free. You can laugh at yourself, you can laugh with others. And even laughter becomes meditation. You work, you rest, you make mistakes, you fall in love. And yet beneath it all runs the same current of awareness. The old question, what should I do, disappears, replaced by a quiet knowing. Whatever happens, happens through the whole. You are not the actor on the stage. You are the stage itself on which all actors come and go. In this freedom, the senses open like flowers. The colors of the world look brighter, the air feels fresher. The simplest sound, a bird's call, the rustle of leaves, becomes music. It's not that the world has changed, your eyes have cleared. You see beauty where before you saw boredom. You feel sacredness where before you felt routine. Nothing is ordinary anymore because you see the extraordinary pulsing through everything. Each moment is complete, self-contained, overflowing with its own meaning. You don't seek ecstasy anymore because life itself is ecstasy when lived with awareness. This is how the journey that began with lust ends, not with renunciation, not with conquest, but with understanding so total that even the idea of a journey disappears. What was once your restlessness has become your stillness. What was once your craving has become your creativity. What was once the pull of flesh has become the fragrance of spirit. And through it all, one thing has remained constant. Life endlessly transforming itself, endlessly celebrating itself, endlessly returning to its own center. You were never outside of it. You were it all along. And so the circle closes, not as an ending, but as a deep exhalation into peace. What began as a struggle against lust has unfolded into understanding, and that understanding has ripened into love, into awareness, into the quiet freedom of being. You can now see that there was never anything to conquer, never anything to purify, never anything wrong within you. Life was only asking you to see it clearly, to let its energy move through you without resistance, without shame, without fear. The same fire that once seemed to threaten you now warms you. The same desire that once pulled you outward now brings you inward. You realize that energy was never your enemy. Unconsciousness was. Awareness has transformed everything. Lust has become light. The body, once a battlefield, has become a temple. Your heart, once restless, has become a shrine of stillness. You no longer run from your humanity. You honor it as the doorway to the divine. Now, wherever you go, whatever you touch, you carry that fragrance of understanding. You can walk among people and see them not as lost or broken, but as parts of the same unfolding mystery. You can love without holding. You can give without expecting. You can live without clinging. Every breath, every moment, every heartbeat becomes part of one continuous prayer, a silent thank you to existence for letting you be here, awake, alive, whole. And when you look back, you can smile because even your confusion, your longing, your lust were part of the path. Without them, you would not have looked for the light. They were not obstacles, they were invitations. Existence was calling you home through them, whispering, "Come, turn inward." You have heard that whisper. Now you have returned, and in this return there is no effort, no goal, no struggle, only the vast simplicity of being. Let this be your remembrance. There is nothing in you that needs to be denied. There is only energy waiting to be seen, only life waiting to be lived in full awareness. See it, trust it, allow it. The rest will happen on its own because existence knows how to transform everything into love. That is its nature, and now it is yours. If this message has helped you to see your own nature more clearly, do not let the moment pass without action. Support this channel by hitting the join button, ensuring that we can continue to spread this light, or show your appreciation with a super thanks. And remember, the journey of understanding does not end here. It deepens with every page you read. Our ebooks are designed to be your companions in silence. Live in this light. Be this light. But do not be deceived. The mind is very ancient and its tricks are very subtle. You have heard me say that lust becomes light, and the mind immediately says, "Aha, I have understood. Now I possess the truth." The moment you think you possess the truth, you have lost it. The moment you make a theory out of it, the transformation stops. You see, the mind is a hoarder. It wants to hoard spiritual truths, just as it used to hoard money or lovers. It wants to put enlightenment in its trophy cabinet. But what I am speaking of cannot be hoarded. It is not a noun, it is a verb, it is a flowing river. You cannot bucket the river and take it home. If you do, it becomes stagnant water. It dies. So you must be very alert. Even after you have felt the shift, even after you have seen the lust transform into love, the old habits will try to return. The old neural pathways are deep. The unconsciousness has a momentum of its own. It is like a fan that has been turned off. The electricity is cut, but the blades still turn for a while because of the past momentum. When the old lust knocks on your door again, and it will, do not be discouraged. Do not say, "Oh, I have failed. Osho's words did not work." No, the return of the old habit is natural. It is simply the dying momentum of the past. Treat it like a guest who has forgotten that he no longer lives here. Be polite but firm. Do not invite him in for tea, but do not slam the door in his face either. Just watch him. "Ah, you have come again? Hello, goodbye." This is the art of continuing. Spiritual life is not a single explosion. It is a continuity of awareness. It is easy to be aware for one moment when you are listening to me, when the energy is high, when you are surrounded by the vibe of the commune. But the real test is when you are alone. The real test is when you are tired, when you are angry, when the world is pressing on you. Can you keep the lamp burning then? Can you remember the sacredness of the body when you are stressed? This is where the practice, if we can call it a practice, becomes subtle. It requires a softness. If you become hard, if you become rigid in your awareness, you will snap. You must be like water, not like a rock. When lust arises in a moment of stress, the rigid mind says, "No, I am spiritual. I should not feel this." That is the rock. The water says, "I see this feeling. It is a wave. It comes from the stress. It is not me." And the water flows around the rock. The water remains pure. This softness is what I call the feminine quality of consciousness. The masculine quality is to fight, to conquer, to penetrate. The feminine quality is to receive, to allow, to envelop. In the transformation of lust, the feminine quality is essential. You must mother your own desires. You must hold them with the same tenderness a mother holds a crying child. She does not throw the child away. She does not beat the child. She holds him until he quiets down, until he feels safe. Your lust is just a crying child. It is crying for attention. It is crying for love. It does not know that it is asking for the divine. It only knows it is hungry. If you feed it with a body, it remains hungry. If you feed it with awareness, it is satisfied forever. This satisfaction is what makes you luminous. Have you ever noticed the difference between a person who is sexually satisfied and a person who is spiritually satisfied? The sexually satisfied person is tired. Their energy is depleted. They want to sleep. The spiritually satisfied person is energized. They are vibrant. They want to create, to share, to sing. The depletion comes from friction. Lust is friction. Two bodies rubbing against each other to create a spark. It is a biological necessity, yes, but it is costly. Transformation is fusion. It is not friction. It is your energy meeting itself, merging with itself, and creating a star within. Stars do not run out of energy, they generate it. I want you to become stars. I want you to burn with your own light. And for this, you must stop begging. Lust is a beggar. It begs for pleasure from the outside. Love is an emperor. It gives from the inside. The journey from the beggar to the emperor is the journey I am inviting you on. And this journey requires courage, not the courage of a soldier, but the courage of a rebel. You have to rebel against the whole history of humanity that lives inside your head. Your grandfather, your great-grandfather, the priests of 5,000 years ago, they are all living in your unconscious. They are all whispering, feel guilty, be ashamed, hide. To silence those voices, you don't need to shout. You just need to turn up the volume of your own awareness. When your own voice becomes clear, the ghosts of the past fade away. You realize you are the only authority of your life. No scripture is higher than your own insight. No commandment is more binding than your own consciousness. This is dangerous to society. That is why they killed Jesus. That is why they poisoned Socrates, because a man who owns his own energy cannot be enslaved. A man who has transformed his lust into love cannot be manipulated. You can manipulate a lustful man easily, give him what he wants or threaten to take it away. You can buy him, you can sell him, but a man who is content, a man who is overflowing, what can you offer him? He has everything. He is free. This freedom is what I want for you. But you must pay the price for it. The price is your unconscious comfort. The price is your familiar misery. You have to step out of the crowd and stand alone. Alone is a beautiful word. It does not mean lonely. Lonely means you are missing the other. Alone means you are complete in yourself, all one. When you are alone, lust transforms because there is no other to chase. You realize that the other was just a mirror reflecting your own face. Why chase the reflection when you are the source? As you deepen in this aloneness, you might feel a period of emptiness. I warned you about this, but I want to speak on it again because it is where most people turn back. They get scared. They say, I left lust, but I haven't found God yet. I am in the desert. Celebrate the desert. The desert is the cleansing. The desert is where the old flowers die so the new seeds can sprout. Do not rush to fill the emptiness with television, with food, with chatter, with new relationships. Sit in the desert. Let the hot sun of awareness burn away the last residues of your dependency. If you can stay in that gap, in that interval between the death of the old and the birth of the new, you will witness the greatest miracle of existence. You will see the birth of the soul. It happens in silence. It happens when you are not looking for it. It happens when you have stopped waiting. And when it happens, you will see that lust was not an error. It was the fuel. You don't store gasoline in your living room. It smells. It is dangerous. But you don't throw it away either. You put it in the tank of the car. Lust is the gasoline. Meditation is the car. God is the destination. Do not drink the gasoline. That is what the indulgent man does, and he gets sick. Do not throw the gasoline away. That is what the monk does, and he goes nowhere. Put it in the tank. Use it. This practical alchemy is what we are doing here, and we are doing it together. This channel is a gathering of alchemists. If you feel you belong to this caravan, confirm it. Click the join button. It is a way of saying, I am on the path. I am not just a spectator. Use the super thanks to express your delight in the discovery. And do not forget the ebooks. They are the maps for the territory we are traversing. Now, let us look at the body again with this new understanding. The body has its own wisdom, older than your mind. Your mind is a newcomer, a child. Your body has millions of years of evolution behind it. It knows when to eat, when to sleep, when to make love, when to stop. But you never listen to it. You listen to the clock. You listen to the dogma. Start listening to the body. If the body says no, do not force it because of some idea of duty or pleasure. If the body says yes, move with it, but move with consciousness. Reclaiming the wisdom of the body is the first step in Tantra. Tantra is not just sexual technique as the West thinks. Tantra is the science of expanding consciousness through energy. In Tantra, we say, do not fight the mud. The lotus blooms from the mud. Lust is the mud. It is dark. It is messy. It smells. But the lotus needs it. If you hate the mud, you will kill the lotus. Accept the mud. Be grateful to the mud. It is nourishing the most beautiful thing in you. This acceptance brings a tremendous relaxation. You stop holding your stomach in. You stop tightening your jaw. You breathe. And in that breath, the divine enters. The word for breath and the word for spirit are the same in many languages. Spiritus. When you breathe fully without the constriction of guilt, you are inspiring, taking in spirit. You will find that as your breathing changes, your desires change. Shallow breathing is connected to anxiety and lust. Deep belly breathing is connected to relaxation and love. Watch it. The next time you feel a compulsive desire, check your breath. It will be shallow, fast, in the chest. Change the breath. Bring it deep into the belly. Slow it down. And suddenly the compulsion breaks. The energy that was becoming a fever becomes a glow. These are small keys, but they open big doors. I give you these keys not to make you a master of technique, but to help you become a master of yourself. The master is not one who controls others. The master is one who is not controlled by his own unconsciousness. And as you master this, your relationships will undergo a revolution. You used to fall in love. Falling is the right word. You lost your balance. You fell into the other. You became dependent. Now you will rise in love. You will stand tall, and the other will stand tall, and your love will be a meeting of two peaks. A meeting of two peaks is rare. It happens only when both have understood their own valleys, their own darkness. When you have faced your lust and transformed it, you have no secrets to hide from your lover. You are transparent. Intimacy requires this transparency. Into me see. If you are hiding your lust, your guilt, your fantasies, you have built a wall. Behind the wall, you are alone. Tear down the wall. Be vulnerable. Say to your beloved, this is my energy. This is my fire. Sometimes it burns. Sometimes it shines. I am watching it. Invite them to watch it with you. Then sex becomes a meditation for two. It becomes a sacred dance where biological energy is offered to the divine. And even if you have no partner, you are not at a disadvantage. In fact, you have an advantage. You can work directly with the source without the complication of the other. You can be the lover and the beloved both. your inner man and your inner woman can meet. This is the mystical union the sages speak of. It is not a fantasy, it is an energetic reality. The left side of your brain, the right side of your brain, the left side of your body, the right side of your body, Shiva and Shakti, they are all within you. When lust is transformed, these polarities merge. You become whole, you become Ardhanarishvara, half man, half woman, total deity. In that state of wholeness, you look at the world and the world looks different. You see the eroticism of existence, not pornography, eroticism. The way the wind touches the leaves is erotic. The way the ocean touches the shore is a love-making. The whole universe is in a constant state of making love, of merging and separating and merging again. You join this cosmic dance. You are no longer an outsider looking in, hungry and deprived. You are part of the feast. You realize that you have been invited since the beginning of time, but you were too busy looking at your own small hunger to notice the banquet spread before you. Eat, drink, but not with greed, with gratitude. That is the only commandment I give you. Be grateful. A grateful heart cannot be lustful in the ugly sense. A grateful heart treats everything as a gift. When you touch a body with gratitude, it is worship. When you touch it with greed, it is rape. Even if the other consents, it is a rape of the soul. Restore the sanctity of touch. Restore the sanctity of sight. When you look, really look. Do not just scan for what you can get. Receive the beauty of the form. Every form is a signature of the divine. This transformation is not just for you. It is for the world. The world is burning in the fire of unconscious desire, wars, greed, violence. These are just lust on a larger scale. Lust for power, lust for land, lust for dominance. If you can transform your individual lust into love, you are pouring cool water on the fire of the world. You are contributing to the global consciousness. You become a vortex of peace. People who come near you will feel it. They will not know why, but they will feel their own restlessness settling down. You will become a healer without ever studying medicine. Your presence will be the medicine. Is this not a goal worth living for? Is this not a destiny worth striving for? To be a light unto yourself and a light unto the world. It begins with this simple, humble, rejected thing called lust. Do not despise the stone that the builders rejected. It can become the cornerstone of your temple. Pick it up, clean it with your awareness. Look at it, and you will find it is a diamond. The diamond has always been with you. You were just too afraid to look in the dark. Now the light is on, the fear is gone, the journey of the diamond begins. And as you walk this path, do not walk with a heavy face. Serious people are sick people. Religion has been too serious for too long. Long faces, sad eyes, as if being miserable is a sign of holiness. I say to you, laughter is the sign of holiness. If you cannot laugh at your own lust, you have not understood it. It is funny. Look at the mechanism of it. It is a biological puppet show. Nature pulls a string and you get excited. Nature pulls another string and you get depressed. Watch the puppet show. Applaud it. But remember, you are the watcher, not the puppet. When you can laugh at the puppet, the string is cut. Laughter creates distance. Laughter creates perspective. The devil cannot stand laughter. He takes himself very seriously. If you laugh at the devil, he runs away. He feels insulted. So laugh at your demons. Laugh at your temptations. They are just shadows. They have no substance unless you give it to them. Lightness of being, that is the goal. To be so light that you can fly. Lust is heavy, it pulls you down to the earth. Love is light, it gives you wings. And when love becomes prayer, you disappear into the sky. You become the sky. There is no end to this expansion. The sky has no boundaries. You can go on expanding forever. This is the adventure of consciousness. It is not a stagnant pool, it is an eternal flight. So are you ready to fly? Are you ready to drop the weights you have been carrying? The weight of guilt, the weight of shame, the weight of suppression. Drop them, not tomorrow, now, in this very breath. Exhale the past, inhale the present. That is it. It is that simple. The mind will say, it cannot be that simple. I need to suffer more. I need to do penance. Tell the mind to be quiet. Tell the mind, I have suffered enough. Suffering is an option, not a requirement. Awakening is a choice. Choose it. When you choose it, the whole universe conspires to support you. Suddenly, you are not swimming upstream anymore. You are floating with the current, and the current knows where the ocean is. You don't have to carry a map. You just have to trust the water. But trust is difficult for the mind. The mind has been trained to doubt. It doubts the body. It doubts the instincts. It doubts the divine. It even doubts the very silence that brings it peace. Is this real? It asks. Am I just imagining it? Let the mind doubt. Do not fight the doubt. Doubt is the function of the mind, just as pumping blood is the function of the heart. You just watch the doubt. Say to it, thank you for your concern, but I am experimenting with something new. Treat the mind like an overprotective parent who is afraid to let the child cross the street. It means well, but it is limiting your life. Cross the street, go to the other side where the wildness is. Lust is wild, it is the wolf inside you. Civilization has tried to domesticate the wolf, to turn it into a dog. A dog is safe, predictable, obedient. A dog wags its tail when you give it a biscuit. But a wolf howls at the moon. A wolf runs free. I don't want you to be dogs. I want you to be wolves, but conscious wolves. A conscious wolf does not destroy, it protects. It has dignity. When you repress your lust, you're trying to kill the wolf. But you cannot kill it. You only make it mad. And a mad wolf bites. That is why there is so much rape, so much violence. It is the madness of the repressed wolf. Let the wolf breathe. Acknowledge the wildness. When you acknowledge it, the madness disappears and the majesty returns. The energy becomes noble. This nobility of spirit is what I call the true aristocracy. It has nothing to do with birth or money. It has to do with how you carry your own energy. Do you carry it with shame, hiding it in the shadows? That is the slave mentality. Or do you carry it with pride, with awareness, celebrating it as a gift from existence? That is the aristocrat. Be an emperor of your own being. And as you reclaim this territory, you will notice that your relationship with food changes too. Have you noticed? When you are sexually repressed, you eat more. You stuff yourself. Why? Because food and sex are deeply linked. They are the two primary instincts, survival of the individual and survival of the species. When one is denied, the other compensates. People are stuffing themselves with food because they are empty of love. They are trying to fill a spiritual hole with physical matter. It never works. You can eat the whole world and you will still be hungry. But when you accept your lust and transform it into love, suddenly the compulsion to overeat drops. You feel full. You feel nourished by subtle energy. You don't need to stuff yourself to feel alive. Watch this mechanism in yourself. Next time you run to the refrigerator when you're not hungry, stop. Ask yourself, what am I really hungry for? you will find it is not food, it is contact, it is warmth, it is flow. Close the refrigerator, sit down, close your eyes, and let the energy flow within. Feed yourself with your own silence. This self-feeding is the secret of the mystics. They look so satisfied, so contented, not because they have had a good meal, but because they are drinking the nectar of their own inner flowering. This nectar is real. In the East, we call it Amrit, the elixir of immortality. It is released in your body when the energy moves upward, when the sex center transforms into the crown center. It is a chemical change. Your body becomes a laboratory. You are the scientist. Awareness is the catalyst. If you are ready to enter this laboratory fully, if you are ready to conduct this experiment on your own life, then join us. Click the join button. Become a member of this community of experimenters. It helps to have fellow scientists working in the same lab. And if you feel the value of this formula I am giving you, use the super thanks. It keeps the laboratory open for others. Do not think this is just metaphor. When I say your chemistry changes, I mean it literally. A repressed person smells different. Their sweat smells of fear and anger. A transformed person smells different. They carry a fragrance of freshness, like rain on dry earth. Animals can sense it. Children can sense it. They are drawn to the person who is at ease with their energy. You have been repelling life with your tension. Now, attract life with your relaxation. Let your body become a flute, hollow, empty, allowing the wind of the universe to sing through it. But if the flute is stuffed with mud, the mud of guilt, of don't do this, of that is a sin, then no music can come out. Only a dull thud. Clean the flute. That is what we are doing here. Cleaning the flute of the past. It is a surgical process, and sometimes surgery hurts. When you pull out a thorn, it hurts for a moment, but that pain is a healing pain. Do not be afraid of it. Many of you stop the moment you feel the pain of the old wounds surfacing. You want the bliss, but you don't want the cleansing. It doesn't work that way. You cannot put new wine in old dirty bottles. You must clean the bottle. The tears that come when you face your own repression, let them come. They are the cleaning fluid. Cry. Weep for the years you have lost in fighting yourself. Weep for the beauty you denied yourself because you were afraid of hell. Let the tears wash away the dust from your eyes. And after the tears, the laughter will come. It always follows. The clear sky comes after the rain. And in that clear sky, you will see that the priests were not your enemies. They were just victims of other priests. It is a long chain of blindness. Forgive them. They did not know what they were doing. They were handing down the disease their parents gave them. You are the one who breaks the chain. You are the first generation that has the capacity to be truly free. You have the science, you have the psychology, and you have the spiritual heritage of the East. You have Osho, you have no excuse. If you remain asleep now, it is your responsibility. So, wake up to your lust. Do not call it lust anymore. Call it life force. Call it vitality. Words have power. If you call it lust, you immediately judge it. If you call it vitality, you honor it. It is the same energy that makes the trees grow, that makes the stars burn. You are filled with the energy of the stars. How can you contain the energy of a star in a small, repressed box? It will explode. That is what a nervous breakdown is. Star energy in a cardboard box. Break the box before the box breaks you. Expand. Make your consciousness as big as the sky. Then the star can burn within you, and you will not burn up. You will light up. This expansion is meditation. It is not concentrating on a point. Concentration is narrowing. Meditation is widening. Widen your awareness to include everything. The noise of the traffic, the beating of your heart, the sensation of desire, the thought of dinner, include it all. Rejection is the mind, inclusion is the soul. When you include lust in your meditation, it changes its quality. It is no longer a localized tension in the genitals. It spreads. It becomes a full body sensation. It becomes a tingling in the fingertips, a warmth in the heart, a coolness in the forehead. It is distributed. And when energy is distributed, it is no longer a problem. It becomes a resource. You can use it to work, to think, to play. You don't have to get rid of it through sex. You can use it to paint a picture, to run a business, to cook a meal. It is just fuel, high-octane fuel. Why waste it? Most people are wasting their life energy in trivialities. Scrolling, gossiping, worrying, and mechanical sex. They are leaking energy from every pore. Plug the leaks, save the energy. Let it accumulate. When the energy accumulates, it rises. It defies gravity. It is like water behind a dam. If the water level is low, it stays at the bottom. If the water level rises, it finds the spillway and flows over. The spillway in the human body is the heart. When your vitality rises high enough, it spills over into the heart. And then, for the first time, you know what love is. Before that, you only knew need. You said, I love you, but you meant, I need you. You meant, don't leave me. That is not love, that is fear. When the energy spills over into the heart, you say, I love you, because you cannot help it. It is your fragrance. You love the person, you love the tree, you love the stranger. It has nothing to do with them. It has everything to do with your overflowing tank. This is the biology of enlightenment. It is not magic, it is physics, spiritual physics. Keep the energy high, keep the awareness sharp, and the transformation is inevitable. But you have to be patient. You are planting a mango tree, not a weed. Weeds grow overnight. They also die overnight. A mango tree takes years to bear fruit, but when it bears fruit, it feeds generations. You are planting the tree of consciousness. Give it time, give it water, give it sun. Do not keep pulling up the seed to see if it has roots. That is doubt. Leave the seed in the dark soil of the body. Trust the process. I am telling you, I have walked this path and it leads to the garden. I am speaking to you from the garden. I am inviting you to come in. The gate is open. The only lock is your own mind. Drop the mind and you are in. And as you stand in this garden, you will see others still fighting outside the gate. Do not laugh at them with arrogance. Help them. But how do you help? Not by preaching. Preaching never helps. Help them by being a sample. Be so blissful, so radiant, so integrated that they ask you, what is your secret? Why are your eyes shining? Why are you not afraid? Then tell them the secret of the golden key. Tell them that lust is not the enemy. Share your truth. Share this video. Give them the map. That is real service. And in this service, you will find that your own joy increases. That is the law of the inner world. What you keep, you lose. What you give, you possess. If you share your love, you will have more love. If you share your wisdom, you will become wiser. So do not be a miser. Misers are miserable. That is why the words are so similar. Be a spendthrift of your spirit. Throw it away like a king throwing gold coins to the crowd. There is an infinite source within you. You are connected to the ocean. You will never run dry. This confidence that you are connected to the inexhaustible source eliminates anxiety. Anxiety is the fear of running out of money, running out of time, running out of love. But when you know you are the wave on the ocean, how can you run out? The ocean is backing you up. Live with the backing of the ocean. When you face a problem, close your eyes and remember, I am not this small wave, I am the ocean. And suddenly, the problem looks small. The perspective shifts. This shift in perspective is what I call the click. It happens in a split second. One moment you are a worried little person, the next moment you are the vast eternal witness. Practice this click, practice it in the traffic jam, practice it when the boss is shouting, practice it when the desire is burning. Click out of the small self into the big self. It is just a knack. It is not a difficult yoga posture. It is a mental gear shift. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Eventually you stay in the big gear. You visit the small self only when practical things are needed, to sign a check, to drive the car. But your home is in the vastness. And from that vastness, sex becomes a play. It is no longer a desperate need. It is a game, a fun, a celebration. You can play it or you cannot play it. You are free. The compulsion is gone. And when the compulsion is gone, the perversion is gone. Perversion is just compulsion driven underground. Freedom is the fresh air that kills the bacteria of perversion. So breathe the fresh air. Let it circulate in every room of your inner house. Open the windows, let the sun comes in. And if there are some dark corners where you are still ashamed, take a lamp there, look at them. What is there? Just some old memories, some childhood traumas, some words your mother said. Look at them, and they will dissolve like mist in the morning sun. They have no reality of their own. The reality is borrowed from your belief in them. Withdraw your belief. Withdraw your investment. You are the investor. You have invested heavily in your misery. You have bought shares in the company of I am a sinner. Sell those shares. They are worthless. Buy shares in the company of I am the divine. That is the only company that pays dividends, and the dividends are instant. Peace, joy, silence. I am not selling you a future reward. I am not saying, be good now and you will get into heaven after you die. I am saying, be aware now and you will be in heaven before you die. Heaven is not a geography, it is a psychology. Hell is not a place underground, it is a state of mind. You are in hell when you are split. You are in heaven when you are whole. Be whole. Gather your fragments. Call back all the pieces of yourself that you have left in the past, in the future, in others. Call them back. Come home. Sit in the center of your being and feel the integration. This integration is what creates the soul. A man is not born with a soul. He is born with the potential of a soul. He has to create it. He has to crystallize it. Awareness is the fire that crystallizes the soul. Without awareness, you are just a heap of broken images, a bag of desires. With awareness, you become a sword of light, cut through the illusion, cut through the Maya. The illusion is that you are the body. The truth is that you are the light inside the body. But do not hate the lantern because you are the light. Love the lantern. Keep it clean. Keep it polished. The better the lantern, the clearer the light. This balance, love in the form but knowing you are the formless, is the ultimate wisdom. It is the path of the razor's edge. It is easy to fall into materialism, loving only the form. It is easy to fall into asceticism, loving only the formless. It is hard to be a Zorba, the Buddha, to love the wine, the dance, the woman, the market, and yet remain as silent as the peak of Everest. That is my challenge to you. Do not choose. Be both. Be earthy and be airy. Be roots and be wings. Why choose? Existence has given you both. Use both. When you use both, you become a bridge between heaven and earth. And that is the glory of the human being. Animals are only earth. Angels are only sky. Man is the bridge. Walk on the bridge. Enjoy the view. But don't build a house on the bridge. The bridge is for walking, not for staying. Keep moving. Cariveti, cariveti. Move on, move on. There are deeper mysteries waiting for you. Lust was just the first gate. Love is the second. Prayer is the third. But there are gates beyond gates. The mystery is endless. Do not stop. If you are ready to keep moving, if you are ready to explore the gates beyond prayer, then stay close to this channel. The teachings here are keys. Collect them, use them. And if you feel the urge to give back to the source, to keep the energy circling, remember the super thanks. It is a beautiful way to say to the universe, I am open to abundance. And for those of you who are scholars of the soul, who want to study the maps in detail, our e-books are waiting. They are written in silence, and if you read them in silence, the message will jump from the page to your heart. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. The whole caravan of seekers is with you. We are moving towards the same sun. Let us move with laughter. Let us move with dance. Let us make this journey a festival. Drop the seriousness. God is not serious. Look at the platypus. Look at the giraffe. Look at the monkey. Does God look serious to you? He has a great sense of humor. He created you. If you can't see the joke, you are missing the point. Laugh at your lust. It is funny. You are chasing a shadow. Stop chasing, stand still, and the shadow will disappear, and the sun will embrace you. And when the sun embraces you, you will realize that you were shivering in the cold for no reason. The door was never locked. You were just pushing against it when you needed to pull. Surrender is pulling. Effort is pushing. You have pushed enough. You have pushed against your nature. You have pushed against your instincts. You have pushed against the world, and you are tired. Look at your face in the mirror. It is the face of a tired warrior. Lay down the sword. The war is over. There is no one to fight. When you stop fighting, a tremendous energy is released. The energy that was bound up in the conflict becomes available for creativity, for joy, for life. This is the peace that passeth understanding. The mind cannot understand it because the mind is the conflict. The mind lives on problems. If there are no problems, the mind has no function. That is why the mind will try to create a new problem. It will say, okay, I am not lustful anymore, but now I am not meditating enough. Or I am spiritual, but I am not enlightened yet. Do not listen to it. It is the same old trick in a new disguise. It wants you to be dissatisfied. Dissatisfaction is the food of the ego. Contentment is the death of the ego. Be content. Right now, in this breath, you are perfect. Your lust is perfect. Your understanding is perfect. Your confusion is perfect. It is all part of the perfection of the whole. When you accept this radical perfection, lust loses its grip completely. It can only grip a person who feels incomplete. It says, come, I will complete you. I will give you the pleasure you are missing. But if you are not missing anything, if you are overflowing, then lust knocks, sees that the house is full, and goes away. You become a king. And this kingdom is not of this world. It is the kingdom of the inner sky. Now, let us speak about the specific traps of your modern age. Because the lust you face today is not the simple biological lust of the caveman. It is a manufactured lust. You are bombarded. Everywhere you look, billboards, movies, internet, people are selling you sex. They are not selling you sex, they are selling you the idea of sex. They are manipulating your biology to sell their toothpaste, their cars, their clothes, and you are the victim. You think these desires are yours. They are not yours. They have been implanted in you. You are being hypnotized 24 hours a day. To break this hypnosis, you need a shock. You need to snap your fingers and wake up. When you see a provocative image and you feel the pull, stop. Ask yourself, is this my desire or is this a manipulation? The moment you ask the question, you create a distance. You break the spell. You see the absurdity of it. You are getting excited by pixels on a screen. There is no one there. It is just light and shadow. But your biology is fooled. Your biology thinks there is a potential mate. Your mind knows it is a screen, but your body reacts. This creates a split. The body is aroused. The reality is empty. This leads to frustration, and this chronic frustration is the mood of modern man. He is constantly stimulated and constantly unsatisfied. He is like Tantalus. The water is right there, but he cannot drink. The only way out of this electronic cage is awareness. You have to watch the mechanism. The image enters the eye. The chemistry is released. The heart beats faster. The mind starts fantasizing. Watch it like a movie. Do not get involved. Do not become the actor. Be the audience. If you can be the audience to your own biological reactions, you are free. The reaction may still happen. The body is a robot. It reacts, but you are not the robot. You are the one watching the robot. This separation is liberation. And as you practice this separation, the robot starts to calm down. It realizes that the master is watching. It stops reacting so violently to every stimulus. You become centered. This centering is essential. Without it, you are just a leaf in the wind, blown here and there by every advertisement, by every passing face. With it, you are a tree, roots deep in the earth. The wind blows, the branches move, but the trunk remains still. Be the trunk. And remember, this is not about being dry and dead. Some people think being spiritual means having no juice. No. A spiritual person is the juiciest person alive, but their juice is not leaking out. It is circulating within. It is nourishing their higher centers. In the East, we talk about the 7 chakras, the 7 centers of energy. The sex center is the first, the lowest. It is the foundation. Do not hate the foundation. The house stands on it, but do not live in the basement. Most of humanity lives in the basement, in the Muladhara. They are born in sex, they think about sex, they die in sex. There are 6 other floors. Why stay in the dark basement? The elevator is awareness. As you bring awareness to your energy, the elevator goes up. The same energy that was sex becomes anger, becomes power, becomes love, becomes creativity, becomes intuition, becomes silence. It is one energy, Kundalini. It has different names at different floors. At the first floor, it is rude, raw. At the 7th floor, it is the 1,000-petaled lotus, but the energy that opens the lotus is the same energy that was moving in the sex center. So, be a good gardener. Do not cut the roots. Water them so the flower can bloom at the top. This alchemy is the greatest science man has ever discovered, and you are the laboratory. If you are ready to take this elevator up, if you are tired of the basement, then make a commitment. Join this channel. The join button is your ticket to the upper floors. It connects you with a sangha, a community of people who are also moving up. And if you feel the grace of this teaching, if you feel the wind of the upper floors touching your face, express it. Use the super thanks. Gratitude is the fuel for the elevator. And for those who want to understand the mechanics of the elevator, the blueprints are in our ebooks. Study them. Understanding helps. It gives the mind something to do so it doesn't interfere with the work of the energy. Now let us go deeper into the silence. When the energy moves up, you will encounter fear. The basement is dark, but it is familiar. The upper floors are full of light, but they are vast. You might feel dizzy. You might feel like you are losing yourself. You are losing yourself. That is the point. You are losing the small, constricted self that was defined by its hunger. You are becoming the vast self that is defined by its being. Do not run back to the basement when the fear comes. Stand in the light, breathe, let the eyes adjust. It takes time. You have lived in the dark for millions of lives. The light is blinding at first. This is why I say, go slowly. Transformation is not a race. If you rush, you will crash. Nature does not rush. The sun does not rush to rise. The seasons do not rush to change. Everything happens in its own time. Trust your timing. You are exactly where you need to be. Even your failures, your relapses into lust, they are part of the timing. Maybe you needed to fall one more time to realize that the ground is hard. Maybe you needed to burn your hand one more time to realize that fire is hot. Learn from every fall. A man who learns from his falls is not a sinner. He is a student. A man who condemns himself for falling is a fool. Be a student. Life is the university, and in this university there is no graduation day. The learning continues forever. The mystery deepens forever. The love expands forever. There comes a point where you stop caring about enlightenment. You stop caring about goals. You just enjoy the walk. The morning breeze is enough. The cup of tea is enough. The sound of the rain is enough. When everything is enough, you have arrived. Lust is the fever of not enough. It is the fever of I need more. Love is the coolness of I have enough. I am enough. Feel this enoughness. Let it sink into your bones. You don't need another body to make you complete. You don't need another thrill to make you alive. You are alive because existence flows through you. Celebrate this flow. Dance with it. Sing with it. When you dance, you are not sexual. You are sensuous. There is a difference. Sexuality is goal-oriented. It wants release. Sensuousness is aimless. It enjoys the moment. A child is sensuous. He plays with water, he feels the sand, he enjoys the sun. He is not lustful, he is alive to his senses. Become like a child again, regain your lost innocence. It is still there, buried under layers of adult seriousness. Dig it out. When you are sensuous, the whole existence becomes your lover. You touch the bark of a tree and it is a love affair. You walk on the grass and it is a caress. You don't need to limit your love to a human being. Why be so stingy? Let your love flow to the rock, to the animal, to the cloud. When you are in love with existence, your need for a specific person diminishes. And paradoxically, this allows you to love a person more deeply. Because now you are not using them. You are not sucking their energy. You are sharing your overflow with them. Relationships based on need are battlefields. Relationships based on shared overflow are temples. Build a temple. Stop fighting battles. You have the blueprint now. You have the tools, awareness, acceptance, witnessing, laughter. Use them. And do not be serious about it. I repeat, do not be serious. Seriousness is a disease. It hardens the heart. Be playful. Treat your lust as a game of hide and seek. It hides, you seek it with your light. When you find it, you laugh and it disappears. Then it hides somewhere else. It hides in pride. Oh, look at me, I have conquered lust. That is just lust for fame, lust for status. Catch it there too, shine the light. Ah, I see you. And it disappears. It is a great game. Enjoy it. God is playing with you. He is hiding in your instincts to see if you can find him. Find him. He is waiting to be found, and when you find him, you will find that he looks exactly like you. Not the you in the mirror, but the you behind the eyes. The witness. That witness is the eternal. That witness is the deathless. Lust belongs to the body dies. Love belongs to the soul continues. Shift your identification from the mortal to the immortal. That is the only religion. All else is ritual. Be religious in this sense. Not Christian, not Hindu, not Mohammedan, but simply awake. The awakened one has no label. He is just a light. Be a light. And remember, a light does not make noise. It simply shines. It does not argue. It does not try to prove anything. It just is. Be that isness. And as you settle into this isness, you will feel a gratitude rising that has no cause. You will just be thankful for breathing, thankful for the heartbeat, thankful for the ability to be aware. This gratitude is the ultimate prayer. It is the Amen to the song of life. Say Amen. Say yes. Yes to the body, yes to the soul, yes to the lust, yes to the love, yes to the mud, yes to the lotus. A total yes is what makes you holy. Holy comes from the word whole. You cannot be whole if you say no to any part of yourself. Say yes. And in that yes, the transformation is complete. And when you say yes, you are not only saying yes to life, you are also saying yes to death. This is the deepest secret of lust that no one tells you. Why are you so fascinated by sex? Why is it the only moment where you feel totally lost, totally abandoned? Because it is a mini-death. In the moment of orgasm, the ego dies. For a split second, you are not there. There is no time, there is no past, there is no future. There is only a pure, vibrating existence. That momentary disappearance of the ego is what gives you such bliss. You think the bliss comes from the friction of the bodies? You are wrong. The bliss comes from the absence of the ego. The French have a beautiful phrase for it, la petite mort, the little death. Every time you move into deep passion, you are practicing for death. You are learning how to disappear. But because you are unconscious, you miss the point. You think the joy is coming from the woman or the man. So you cling to them. You become addicted to them. You think, without this person, I cannot experience that bliss. But the person was just a trigger. The bliss came from your own capacity to dissolve. Meditation is the great death. It is la grande morgue. In sex, you die for a moment and then you are back to the worries, back to the bills, back to the conflict. In meditation, you die voluntarily, consciously, and you stay in that state of dissolved ego. You walk, you talk, you eat, but the heavy I is gone. You are light. If you understand this, you will see that lust is actually a spiritual longing in disguise. It is the longing to die into something bigger than yourself. You are tired of being a small, separate wave. You want to crash onto the shore and become the ocean. Lust is a clumsy attempt to become the ocean. Meditation is the skillful way. So do not scold yourself for your lust. It shows that you have the urge to merge. It shows you are not content with being an island. That is a good sign. It means you are ready for the ultimate jump. But the mind is cunning. It says, but sex is easy. Meditation is hard. I say to you, sex is hard work. The courting, the seduction, the drama, the emotional gymnastics, the fear of rejection, the fear of performance. It is a lot of work for a momentary release. Meditation seems hard only because you have never tried it. Once you taste it, it is the easiest thing in the world. It is simply resting in your own nature. It is like a man who carries a heavy backpack everywhere he goes. He thinks it is hard to put this down, it is part of me. And I say, just drop it. And he says, but how? I have carried it for 30 years. The dropping is instant. You just unclasp your hands. Lust is the backpack. It is heavy with expectations. This experience will save me. This person will complete me. Drop the expectation. Keep the energy, but drop the backpack. Suddenly, you are weightless. When you are weightless, you can float. You can drift. This drifting is what Lao Tzu calls Wu Wei, actionless action. You are not doing anything, yet everything is happening. The grass grows by itself. The blood flows by itself. The breath comes by itself. Why do you think you need to manage your life? Why do you think you need to control your desires? The manager is the problem. The controller is the barrier. Step aside. Let life live you. This requires a deep trust, not belief, trust. Belief is in the head, trust is in the gut. Belief is borrowed, trust is your own experience. You have to experiment. Try stepping aside for one day, just one day. Say to the universe, today you drive, I will sit in the back seat. See what happens. You will be amazed. You will end up in places you never planned, meeting people you never expected, feeling joys you never earned. The universe is a much better driver than you. You are a terrible driver. You are always looking in the rearview mirror, looking at the past. The universe looks at the now. And in this now, there is no lust. Lust is always about the future. I want that. I will have that. It is a projection. In the absolute here and now, there is only sensation. There is no story attached to it. When you look at a beautiful face without the story of I want to possess, it is just beauty. It is like looking at a flower. You don't want to eat the flower, you don't want to put the flower in your pocket. You just enjoy the visual delight. You drink the beauty with your eyes and you move on. This is non-possessive love. This is love without glue. It doesn't stick, it flows. And because it flows, it stays fresh. Stagnant water stinks. Stagnant love turns into hate. Flowing love remains pure. Be a river, not a pond. And as you flow, you will pass through many landscapes. Some will be rocky, some will be green. Do not cling to the green banks. Do not fight the rocks. Just flow. The ocean is waiting. This metaphor of the ocean is very significant. The ocean is salty. It tastes of tears, but it is also vast. It tastes of freedom. Your little tears of frustration, your little tears of loneliness, when they fall into the ocean of awareness, they lose their bitterness. They become part of the great salt water of life. You are not alone in your suffering. Everyone is suffering from the same illusion, the illusion that they are separate. The moment you realize I am not separate, the suffering stops. The pain may remain. The body can feel pain, but the suffering, the psychological drama stops. And lust is nothing but a desperate attempt to bridge the separation. Two bodies trying to become one, but bodies cannot become one. They are physically distinct. Skins separate us. Only spirits can become one. So go for the spiritual union. That is the only union that lasts. Even death cannot separate two spirits that have merged in awareness. I am giving you a roadmap to immortality, but you have to walk it. I cannot walk it for you. I can only hold the lantern. If the light from this lantern is helping you see the road, if it is preventing you from stumbling in the dark, then support the lantern bearer. Join the channel. Click join. It is a small act of solidarity. It says, I value the light. And if today's message has removed a heavy stone from your heart, use the super thanks. It is a way of unburdening yourself of gratitude. Gratitude unexpressed becomes a weight. Expressed, it becomes a wing. And do not forget the ebooks. They are for the quiet moments when the video ends and you are alone with your mind. They are your weapons against the old habits. Now, I want to speak to the boredom that many of you fear. You think, if I give up lust, if I give up the chase, won't life be boring? You are addicted to drama. You're addicted to the roller coaster, up and down, hope and despair. You think peace is boring. Peace is not boring. Peace is alive. It is vibrant, but it is a subtle taste. If you are used to eating spicy chili peppers every day, you cannot taste the sweetness of a simple apple. Lust is the chili pepper. It burns the tongue. It numbs the taste buds. Meditation clears the palate. When your tongue is clean, simple rice tastes divine. Simple breathing becomes an adventure. Just sitting in a chair and feeling the air on your skin becomes a miracle. You regain your sensitivity. You become a connoisseur of the small, and life is made of small things. Big things happen rarely. Birth, marriage, death. Small things happen every second. If you can enjoy the small, your whole life becomes a festival. If you wait for the big, you will be miserable for 99% of the time. Don't wait. Celebrate the tea, celebrate the shower, celebrate the handshake. When you bring this quality of celebration to your life, the need for lust evaporates. You are already having so much fun. Lust is a compensation for a miserable life. A happy man is not obsessive. He may enjoy sex, but he is not obsessed. He can take it or leave it. This take it or leave it attitude is true mastery. It is not renunciation. The monk says, I must leave it. That is an obsession. The playboy says, I must take it. That is an obsession. The free man says, I am happy with it. I am happy without it. Be the free man, be the free woman, and beware of the spiritual ego. This is the most dangerous trap. The ego that says, I am holier than you because I am celibate, or I am more evolved than you because I do tantra. This is just the old ego in new clothes. It is just as ugly. In fact, it is uglier because it is self-righteous. A truly transformed person is humble. He knows that he is made of the same mud as everyone else. He knows that the same potential for lust lives in his cells. He just doesn't water it anymore. He has compassion for those who are still struggling, not judgment. If you find yourself judging others, look at that pervert, look at that promiscuous woman, know that your own lust is still alive and kicking. You are projecting your shadow onto them. You hate them because they remind you of your own suppressed desires. When you are truly clean, you don't judge. You see a prostitute and you see the divine. You see a thief and you see the divine. You see the form, but you also see the light inside the form. This X-ray vision is the gift of the third eye. The two eyes see the surface, the third eye sees the depth. When the two eyes of duality close, the eye of attraction and the eye of repulsion, the third eye opens. Start practicing this vision. Look at a tree. Don't just see the wood and the leaves. Feel the tree-ness. Feel the silence of the tree. It is alive. It is aware in its own way. Connect with it. Look at your dog. Don't just see a pet. Look into its eyes. There is a being there, a being that loves you, a being that is confused, a being that is trapped in an animal body. Connect with the being. When you start connecting with beings instead of bodies, the world becomes a family. You are no longer a stranger. You are at home. And when you are at home, you don't need to run away. Lust is running away. It is looking for a home in someone else's body. But their body is not your home. It is their home. And they are likely looking for a home in you. Two homeless people trying to find shelter in each other. It is a tragedy. Find your own home first, then invite the guest. Then it is a sharing. Come, share my home. I have found a palace within. And if they also have found their palace, then two kings meet, two queens meet. That is dignity. That is the future of humanity. Relationships of dignity, not of dependency. Relationships of sharing, not of exploitation. But it starts with you. Do not wait for the other to change. You change. You drop the begging bowl. You become the emperor. And do not be impatient with yourself. The layers of conditioning are thick. You have been told for centuries that you are weak, that you are a sinner, that you need saving. It takes time to wash off that dirt. Be gentle with yourself. If you fall, pick yourself up with a smile, dust off your knees, keep walking. The path is there. It has been walked by Buddhas, by Christs, by Lao Tzus. You are walking in good company. You can feel their presence if you are silent. The air is full of the vibes of the awakened ones. They are cheering for you. They are whispering, "You can do it. You are closer than you think." Listen to the whisper. Ignore the shouting of the world. The world shouts, buy, consume, copulate. The spirit whispers, be, relax, let go. Which voice will you listen to? Every moment is a choice. Every click of the mouse is a choice. Every bite of food is a choice. Choose consciousness. Choose the light. And as you choose the light, the darkness recedes. It has no power of its own. It is just the absence of light. Lust has no power of its own. It is just the absence of love. Bring the love and the lust is gone. It is simple arithmetic. So, do not make a big problem out of it. Oh, my lust is so strong. I am such a bad person. Stop the drama. You are not a bad person. You are just a person with a lot of energy who doesn't know how to use it. You are like a child playing with dynamite. You are not evil. You are just uneducated in the ways of energy. Get educated. Learn the laws of the inner world. One law is energy follows attention. Wherever you put your attention, the energy flows there. If you put your attention on sexual fantasies, the energy flows to the genitals. If you put your attention on the breath, on the heart, the energy flows there. You are the driver. Steer the car. Another law is, what you resist persists. We have spoken of this. Do not push the energy down. Guide it up. It is like a stream. You cannot stop it, but you can dig a channel to divert it to the fields. Let it water your creativity. Let it water your compassion. And the third law is resonance. You become what you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with pornographic images, cynical people, and violent news, your energy will sink. If you surround yourself with beauty, with nature, with satsang, the company of truth, your energy will rise. Curate your environment. Your external environment affects your internal environment. Protect your energy field. Do not let everyone dump their garbage into your mind. You are so careful about what you put in your stomach. Is it fresh? Is it clean? But you are so careless about what you put in your mind. You let any garbage enter, and then you wonder why you feel sick. Be a guardian of your own temple. Do not let the traders and the moneylenders inside. Keep the sanctuary pure, and in that purity you will find a joy that is not dependent on stimulation. a joy that is cool, calm, and constant. Like a flame in a windless room, that flame is you. It has been covered by soot, by dust, by cobwebs, but the flame is still burning. It is eternal. It cannot be extinguished. Clear the glass. Let the light shine. And when you shine, you give permission to others to shine. You break the conspiracy of darkness. You become a revolutionary. Not a revolutionary with a gun, but a revolutionary with a flower. A revolutionary of love. The world needs this revolution. The politicians have failed. The economists have failed. The armies have failed. Only the mystic can save the world now. And the mystic is not a special breed of human. The mystic is just a human who has awakened to his own potential. You are the mystic. Accept the challenge. Accept the adventure. Do not settle for the small pleasures of the flesh when the ecstasy of the soul is waiting. Do not be satisfied with glass beads when diamonds are available. Reach for the diamonds. And as you reach, you will find that the hands of existence are reaching down to help you. You are not alone. You are loved. You are supported. You are necessary. Without you, this existence would be incomplete. You are a note in the divine orchestra. If you are silent, if you are out of tune, the whole orchestra suffers. Tune yourself. Tune your instrument. The instrument is the body-mind complex. The tuner is awareness. When the instrument is tuned, the music flows, and that music is God. You don't have to search for God. You just have to play the music. So play. Play with your whole heart. Play with abandon. And let the music wash away all the dust of the past. Let it wash away the guilt. Let it wash away the memories of failure. This moment is fresh. It is virgin. It has never been touched. Enter it with a virgin consciousness, and you will see that the Garden of Eden was never lost. We just fell asleep in the garden and dreamed of exile. Wake up. The garden is here. The fruit is sweet. The water is cool. Why are you thirsty? Drink. Drink from the well that has no bottom. When you drink from the waters of the world, from pleasure, from success, from recognition, your thirst is quenched for a moment, but it returns with a vengeance. That water is salty. It makes you thirstier. But the water of your own silence, it is sweet. It satisfies the soul forever. And when you are satisfied, you become a danger to the establishment. I want you to understand this clearly. A satisfied man is dangerous to the status quo. The economy depends on you being dissatisfied. The politicians depend on you being afraid and needy. If you are content, you don't need their wars. You don't need their frantic consumption. You sit under a tree and you smile. This smile is the greatest revolution. It shakes the foundations of the false society. They want you to be a cog in the machine, running after lust, running after power. But you step out of the machine, you become an individual. The new man I speak of is exactly this: an individual who is at home in his body and at home in his soul. He is not a schizophrenic. He does not divide himself. He enjoys the marketplace and he enjoys the meditation hall. He is Zorba the Greek and he is Gautama the Buddha. Together, why have we separated them? Zorba is beautiful. He knows how to dance. He knows how to love. He knows how to enjoy the earth. But he has no eyes for the sky. He is blind to the vertical dimension. Buddha is beautiful. He knows the peace of the stars, the silence of the infinite, but he is lame. He has lost touch with the earth. I want you to be the whole man. Zorba with the eyes of Buddha, Buddha with the dancing legs of Zorba. When lust is transformed, this synthesis happens naturally. You don't renounce the world. you spiritualize it. You bring the quality of the sacred into the profane. Imagine a world full of such people. There would be no war. Why would a happy man go to war? War is the projection of inner conflict. There would be no rape. Rape is the violence of the repressed. There would be no greed. Greed is the hunger of the empty heart. You are the pioneer of this new world. It starts with your own nervous system. Every time you transform a moment of lust into a moment of love, you are laying a brick for the new humanity. You are doing service to the collective consciousness. But the mind will say, "But Osho, I am just one person. What can I do?" One person is enough to start a fire. One seed is enough to make the whole earth green. Do not underestimate the power of one awakened consciousness. It creates a ripple effect that touches the stars. And do not fall into the trap of tomorrow. Lust loves tomorrow. I will be happy tomorrow. I will find the perfect lover tomorrow. Enlightenment is always now. Transformation is always now. If you say, "I will transform my lust tomorrow," you have already decided to remain in lust today. And tomorrow will grow out of today. It will be the same. Cut the time. Be immediate. In Zen, they use the stick to bring the disciple to the present. The master hits the disciple whack, and suddenly the thinking stops, the planning stops, the lust stops. There is only the sting of the stick and the vast silence. I cannot hit you with a stick through this screen, though sometimes I wish I could, but life is hitting you. The misery you feel, that is the stick. The boredom, the anxiety, that is the stick. Life is trying to wake you up. Look, your way is not working. Listen to the pain. It is a friend. It is telling you to change direction. It is telling you to move from the periphery to the center. At the periphery, there is only the cyclone. At the center, there is the eye of the storm. Absolute stillness. And from that stillness, your relationships will change from relationship to relating. Relationship is a noun. It is dead. It is a contract. We are husband and wife. It is finished. Relating is a verb. It is a flow. It is alive. It is renewed every moment. When you are free from the compulsion of lust, you can truly relate. You can meet the other fresh every morning. You don't carry the image of yesterday. You look at your wife, your husband, your lover, and you see a stranger, a beautiful stranger, and you fall in love again. Love should be a continuous falling in love, not once and for all, but again and again, each time deeper, each time with more awareness. Then monogamy is not a prison, it is freedom. It is the freedom to go deep into one person, to explore one universe totally. If you keep moving from one person to another, you remain on the surface. You are like a stone skipping on the water. You touch many points, but you never sink. Sink. Pick one spot and dive deep. The water is the same everywhere. If you dig deep enough in one person, you will find the divine. But you have to dig past the body, past the mind, past the emotions. You have to reach the core, and you can only reach the core of the other if you have reached the core of yourself. This is the great work, the magnum opus, and we are doing it together here. Every video, every silence we share is a digging. If you feel the shovel hitting the gold, support the work, click, join. It keeps the excavation going. Use super thanks to celebrate the gold we have found, and use the ebooks as your map for the underground tunnels of the psyche. Now let me address the fear that says, this is too simple. Enlightenment must be difficult. It must be for the chosen few. This is the ego speaking. The ego loves difficulty. It wants to climb Everest. If I tell you, God is right here, sitting in your chair, the ego feels cheated. Just here, that's it? No glory, no medal, no glory, no medal, just simple, ordinary joy. The joy of a bird singing, the joy of breathing. If you can accept the ordinary, you become extraordinary. If you try to be extraordinary, you become a fake. The world is full of fake spiritual people. They walk differently, they talk differently, they wear special clothes. They are acting, they are suppressing their lust and painting a holy face on top. Scratch them and the animal comes out. I don't want you to be a hypocrite. Be real. If you are angry, be angry, but be aware. If you are lustful, be lustful, but be aware. Don't hide it, don't pretend. Authenticity is the only prayer that reaches existence. Existence responds to truth, not to masks. When you are authentic, you become vulnerable. You drop the armor, and yes, you might get hurt, but to be hurt is better than to be dead. The man in armor is safe, but he is in a coffin. He cannot feel the rain, he cannot feel the wind, he cannot feel the touch of love. Take off the armor, let life touch you, let it pierce you, let it break your heart, because the heart is like an egg. It has to break for the chick to come out. The chick is your soul, let the heart break open. Lust is often a way to keep the heart closed. It is a shield. You use the body so you don't have to use the heart. You have sex so you don't have to have intimacy. Intimacy is scary. It means showing your wounds. Show them. Your wounds are not ugly. They are your history. They are your battle scars. When you expose them to the light of love, they heal. And where the wound was, the skin becomes stronger. This healing process is what I call therapy and meditation. Therapy cleans the wounds. Meditation strengthens the being. You need both. In the past, the East had only meditation, the West had only therapy. Now, we bring them together. The new man is a therapeutic meditator. He cleans his past and he builds his presence. And as you clean the past, you will find that a lot of your lust was just childhood need. You were looking for mommy or daddy in your lovers. You were looking for that unconditional acceptance you missed as a child. But no lover can be your mother or father. That is an impossible burden. When you see this, aha, I am asking my wife to be my mother, the game stops. You grow up. You stand on your own feet. And then you can love your wife as a woman, not as a surrogate parent. This is maturity. Maturity has nothing to do with age. There are old people who are immature, still acting like greedy children. And there are young people who are mature, who have understood the folly of desire. Be mature. Maturity means taking responsibility for your own happiness. Stop blaming. She seduced me. He provoked me. No one can provoke you unless you are ready to be provoked. You carry the gunpowder, they just bring the match. Don't blame the match. Clean the gunpowder. When you are empty of gunpowder, let them bring 1,000 matches. Nothing happens. You just smile. That invulnerability is true power. And this power is not power over others. It is power over yourself. Swaraj, self-rule. When you rule your own senses, you are a king. When your senses rule you, you are a beggar. Look at the faces of people in the street. Are they kings or beggars? They are running, anxious, eyes darting, looking for something to fill the hole. Be the one who stops running. Be the still point in the turning world. People will be attracted to your stillness. They will come to you like thirsty travelers to an oasis. How are you so calm? They will ask. And then you serve them the water of your understanding. You become a teacher, not by profession, but by presence. A mother can be a teacher to her child, not by words, but by the quality of her love. A businessman can be a teacher to his employees by his fairness and lack of greed. Spirituality must enter the bloodstream of society. It must go to the office, to the factory, to the school. It should not be confined to the temples. Temples are dead places. Life is the temple. Bring your transformed energy into your work. If you are an artist, paint with love, not with ego. If you are a doctor, heal with compassion, not just with pills. If you are a cleaner, clean as if you are cleaning the altar of God. When action is joined with awareness, it becomes karma yoga. It liberates. When action is joined with lust, desire for result, it binds. It becomes karma bondage. Cut the bond, do the act, and drop the result. Offer the result to the universe. I did my best. Now whatever happens is fine. This attitude destroys stress. Stress is the gap between what is and what I want. If you drop the what I want, stress disappears. And when stress disappears, the body relaxes, the energies flow, the chi, the prana moves freely. You become healthy. Much of your illness is caused by blocked energy. Lust blocks energy in the pelvis. Anger blocks energy in the belly. Grief blocks energy in the chest. Release the emotions. Let the energy circulate. You will feel a new vitality, a second youth. This is the promise of the inner alchemy. You cannot stop the aging of the body, but you can stop the aging of the spirit. The spirit can remain young, fresh, curious, until the last breath. And when the last breath comes, you will not be afraid. You will know that the energy that danced in you is deathless. You will slip out of the body as easily as you slip out of old clothes. No struggle, no clinging, just a grateful goodbye. Thank you, body, you served me well. Thank you, lust, you taught me the fire. Thank you, love, you taught me the light, and you are gone into the great mystery. But until that moment comes, live totally. Burn your candle from both ends. Don't save yourself. You are not a bank account, you are a river. Flow. And as you flow, remember to laugh. I cannot emphasize this enough. Laughter is the sound of the breaking of chains. When you can laugh at your own sexuality, it is no longer a dark, heavy secret. It becomes a light, playful energy. Have you noticed how heavy religious people are about sex? They whisper about it, they confess it like a crime. I say, shout it from the rooftops. I am alive, I have energy. Claim it. When you claim it, you can transform it. You cannot transform what you do not own. Own your basement. Go down there, switch on the light, and turn it into a dance floor. Make your unconscious conscious. That is the definition of enlightenment. One day the light penetrates the deepest corner, and there is no more darkness left. You are pure light, you are transparent. And in that transparency, you are invisible to the world of problems, but visible to the world of blessings. Blessings shower on you like flowers. You don't ask for them, they just come. This is the state of grace. You are carried, you don't walk. You are carried by the wind of the Spirit. Let go, lift your feet off the ground, trust the wind. It is taking you home. And when you drink, do not just sip, drink totally. Be drunk with the divine. A sane man is a calculated man. A drunkard is a man of the heart. I want you to be spiritual drunkards, drunk on the poetry of existence, drunk on the beauty of the sunrise, drunk on the silence of your own being. When you are drunk with awareness, you cannot harm anyone, you cannot be violent, you cannot be greedy. The world needs this drunkenness. It is too sober, too cold, too calculated. Logic has created the atomic bomb. Love has never created any weapon. Logic divides, love unites. So move from the head to the heart. The head is a good servant, but a terrible master. Use the head to do your mathematics, to run your business. But when you come home, take the head off and put it on the shelf. Move into the heart. Dance with your children. Sit with your wife. Look at the moon. The head cannot see the moon. It only sees a satellite reflecting light. The heart sees the moon and feels poetry. The heart sees the moon and feels a dance. Be a lunatic, one who is affected by the moon. In the East, we have a deep respect for the madman of God, the Baal. He sings, he dances, he cries tears of joy. He is not crazy. He has just stepped out of the crazy world of the mind. Step out, the door is open. And as you step out, you will realize that the journey we have taken together, from the dark basement of lust to the open sky of superconsciousness, was not a journey of distance. It was a journey of intensity. You did not go anywhere. You just became more intense. You became more real. You stopped being a ghost, haunting your own body, and became the master of the house. Now, as we come to the close of this communion, I want to leave you with a vision of what is possible for you. Do not think this is just for Osho or for the ancient sages. No, it is for you. It is your birthright. Imagine a life where you have no secrets, where you are transparent like an open book. Anyone can read you and you have no fear because there is nothing to hide. Imagine a life where you have no guilt, where you accept your biology, your psychology, your spirituality as one organic unity. No conflict, no civil war. Imagine a life where you are not begging for love, but radiating it, where you walk into a room and the room lights up. Not because of what you say, but because of what you are. This life is waiting for you. It is just around the corner of your own ego. Turn the corner and do not worry about how. The how is the mind's question. The heart knows no how. The heart just jumps. Jump. If you're afraid to jump alone, know that we are jumping together. This energy field we have created through these words, through your listening, through your silence, is a safety net. You will not fall into the abyss. You will fall into the arms of the beloved. And who is the beloved? It is not a person, it is the whole, it is the grass, the river, the mountain, the people. When you fall in love with the whole, you become holy. This is the only holiness I teach. I do not teach the holiness of the church, which smells of incense and death. I teach the holiness of life, which smells of sweat and earth and sun. Be a gardener of your own soul. The seeds are there. Lust is the seed. Love is the flower. Prayer is the fragrance. Do not stop at the seed. Do not stop at the flower. Go all the way to the fragrance. And the fragrance cannot be held. It moves on the wind. It reaches the nostrils of people you will never meet. Your transformation will help people you do not even know. It is a subtle vibration. You are transmitting right now. If you are tense, you are transmitting tension to the world. If you are peaceful, you are transmitting peace. Be a transmission tower of peace. The world is on fire. It needs your cool water. It needs your silence. Do not think, I am useless. No one is useless. Even a small candle can defy the darkest night. Be that candle. And remember, the candle burns itself out. It gives light by consuming itself. You must also consume your ego. You must burn your eye to give light. It is a beautiful death. To die as an ego and be born as a presence. That is the resurrection. Christ is not a person. Christ is a state of consciousness. Buddha is not a person. Buddha is a state of awakening. You are the next Buddha. You are the next Christ. Do not look at me with shock. I am serious and I am laughing. It is true. The potential is sleeping within you. Wake it up, shake it. Say to yourself, I am ready. I am ready to drop the chains. I am ready to stop the begging. I am ready to be myself. This declaration is magic. When you declare it with your total being, the universe signs the contract. Now, a few practical words for the road. The road is long and the memory is short. You will forget what I have said. The mind will cover it with dust. That is why you need reminders. You need a daily bath of awareness. Just as you wash your body every day, wash your mind. Sit for 20 minutes. Just 20 minutes. Do nothing, just watch the traffic of the mind. Do not direct the traffic, just watch. Slowly the traffic will thin out. There will be gaps, intervals of silence. In those gaps, God enters. In those gaps, you will find the nectar I am talking about and keep connected with the source of this teaching. A single tree standing alone in the storm may fall, but a forest stands together. The roots intertwine. We are a forest. This channel is a forest of seekers. Do not be a stranger here. Be a resident. Click the join button. It is a commitment to your own roots. It is saying, I belong to this forest. And when you feel the nourishment coming from these roots, share the fruit. Use super thanks. It is the cycle of nature. You receive, you give, and in the giving, you receive more. And for the deep study, for the moments when you want to argue with me, when you want to wrestle with the truth, go to the ebooks. They are my letters to you. Read them not with your eyes, but with your third eye. Read between the lines. The truth is not in the words, it is in the silence between the words. I have spoken enough. Words are only fingers pointing to the moon. Do not bite the finger. Look at the moon. The moon is beautiful tonight. The moon of your inner being is full. Lust was the dark moon. Awareness is the full moon. The tides of your life are controlled by this moon. Let the tides flow. High tide, low tide, both are beautiful. When the energy is high, dance. When the energy is low, sleep. Do not fight the rhythm. You are part of a great harmony. The universe is not a chaos, it is a cosmos. Cosmos means order, beauty. You are part of that beauty. Do not make yourself ugly with guilt. Wash it off. You are innocent. I tell you again and again, you are innocent. You have never sinned. You have only made mistakes. Mistakes are how you learn. Sin is an invention of the priest to control you. Drop the sin. Keep the learning. Walk with your head high. You are the sun of existence. You are the daughter of the stars. And finally, remember this. Love is the only reality. Everything else is an illusion. Lust is a shadow of love. Anger is a distortion of love. Fear is the absence of love. Bring love back to the center. When you look at your partner, look with love. When you eat your food, eat with love. When you walk on the earth, walk with love. Then your whole life becomes a prayer. You don't need to go to the church. Wherever you stand is holy ground. I have given you the key. The key is awareness. The door is lust. The destination is love. Open the door. Step through. The wind is blowing. The sun is shining. The birds are singing. Everything is waiting for you. Come home.